Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. It is Friday, August 14th. We have a lot to get to. We'll be in Florida today. We'll be in New York today when it comes to who we're talking to and what we're watching here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So President Trump will deliver remarks in Nassau County, New York at 3 o'clock Eastern. As we see the president go from D.C. to Joint Base Andrews over to Nassau County, if there's any press availability, you know how the president likes to speak with the press, either on the tarmac or on the plane. We'll bring that to you as we get to see it here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. But what we'll do now, because there's only 4 days until that Florida election primary, let's go now to Florida, as one of the patriots on the ballot is Florida congressional candidate Ben Butler. Thank you so much for joining us again, Ben.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Great to come to you from the free state of Florida.
Yeah, hey, it's a great state. There's a lot of great states out there, but a lot of people are like, Florida wouldn't mind having that kind of way of life throughout the whole country, right?
We're so blessed to have an awesome president and an awesome governor. So we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, it's a good 1-2 punch, figuratively speaking. So can you update us on the campaign trail? Of course, only 4 days until that huge primary election in your state.
Well, 4 days left, and we are rolling. We've got a big blitz across the district plan starting today. We're going to hit. I was just talking about it. We got high school football starts tonight, so we'll be hitting a local high school football game. But it is we've been getting out, getting our message around, and talking to voters, knocking on doors, and just doing everything we can to get our message around the district. It's time to send some common sense and send a farmer to Congress.
Hey, that sounds like a great plan to me. If I was a resident of your state, I'd be voting for you. I mean, because it's common sense, easy 1, 2, 3, which is the way it's supposed to be, right? Sometimes it seems like politics in general can get to be so confusing, and it doesn't need to be that way.
It doesn't. There are so many things that that happen in D.C. that we all look at from the outside, and it's like, come on, guys, just get it together. But and that is, and that's what the voters are telling us. That's what they're telling me, and that's the reason our story is resonating so good.
And that's exactly right. I mean, one of those, for example, would be the Save America Act. Why are the Republican senators not understanding the situation here? We know that some do, because about 20 of them said, let's stay through the August recess. Let's get this thing done, make it a law instead of just calling it the Save America Act. Let's shift gears to a much lighter note. I see the football behind you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you mentioned the Republicans, all the Senate. Come on, guys, let's get it together. It's have an ID, show that you're a citizen. That's what it takes to vote. I mean, I just don't understand. Anyway,
no, yeah.
We can go on that all day long.
And it's so true. And so can the massive majority of the population of this country that can vote. I'm sure that we are in the high percentile of people that want that common sense legislation to become common sense law. Shifting back to what I was just about to mention, I see that football behind you to your right, our left at home. And I played high school football back in the day. You mentioned tonight you're going to a high school game, of course, to meet some of the parents and just be there and show that, hey, we've got this huge election coming up. Isn't it great, right? Friday night football across this country? The people that go to those games, those are the everyday Americans that we've seen President Trump and others bring up on stage. That's the bread and butter, the United States of America. Am I right, Ben?
Oh, that's right. That's right. And across our new district, our new district spans from the Orlando airport. So we've got a little bit of Orange County, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Indian River County, and then the heartland of Florida, where we have more beef cows in our district than any other district this side of the Mississippi River. So this is, when we talk about heartland, this is the heartland of Florida district, and football reigns on Friday night. I played a little football in high school. Didn't go past my freshman year. I got involved in other activities after that. But it's a great time of year, and we know that college football is coming too. So that gets me excited. But yeah.
And then finally, can you tell us about your game plan over the next, 24, 48, 72 hours leading up to the primary election?
Well, so ultimately our voters, and this is the message we've been getting out, we have one big decision to make, and that is flipping this district from blue to red. We got people in this district that have been represented by Democratic congressmen for since 2012, since the late Bill Posey. And this is an opportunity for them to finally get Republican representation, and it's going to take the right Republican to do it, because I can tell you Darren Soto has positioned himself with the relationships and being a friend of our rural and our water and natural resources, and that's where I come in. My background, I am positioned well to take on Darren Soto and to be the one to flip this district from blue to red.
Exactly. We'd love to see it, because that's what the mass majority of the country, I believe, are on the right side of history. And a lot of times the left-wing media and some in government that are corrupt are cool with the don't show an ID to vote, don't prove that you're a citizen here. And then therefore, it seems like the numbers are so much bigger. Do you remember 81 million votes for Biden? Come on. We know that was a crock, right?
That's, it is certainly, and I'll tell you what, I am so glad we got President Trump where he's at right now. And we've got a lot of things to finish. President Trump has laid out some policies, and I look forward to being up there in DC, helping him. Hopefully we can get, the Save America Act doesn't happen now. We're going to get that path. We're going to continue our peace through strength military strategy. We're going to continue with our food security as national security, and a whole host of other things, from getting accountability set up and reducing our federal spending. I'll tell you, our president has done a wonderful job. But we have a lot more to do, and I look forward to being a part of that.
Yeah, exactly. And, to your point at the top of the broadcast, in Florida, having a great president at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, having a great governor in Ron DeSantis there, that's a 1-2 punch. We'll take it, figuratively speaking, to win, win, win. So Ben Butler, hopefully you're winning in your primary on Tuesday. Thanks again for joining us here on Right Side.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Definitely. All right, so Ben Butler there in Florida. We're going to return to Florida a little bit later. I know there was a little bit of a audio tech kind of issue there, but still hearing is what really matters when it comes to the actual words of what Ben was just speaking there. So great to have Ben Butler join us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Let's go to a few of our sponsors before we go from Florida to Georgia. As I met someone from Georgia at that recent Georgia Trump rally, a couple people there that were wearing those MAGA hats after the rally. So thought we'll bring them on, and we'll hear from the next guest here in just a second. But let's go to some of our sponsors first. All Family Pharmacy is one of them. If you've been hearing more about peptides lately, you may be wondering what these options are and where to find them. You already know All Family Pharmacy as RSBN's trusted pharmacy partner, but did you know they also offer peptides and biohacking options? For those of you looking to support your overall wellness, energy, recovery, or weight management goals, they offer different options worth checking out. Now 25% off, and that includes NAD+, one of the most popular biohacking options right now, commonly used to support cellular energy and healthy aging. They also offer glutathione for antioxidant support, Somorelin to support the body's natural growth hormone production, and also GLP-1 options for weight loss. You can learn more and submit your order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking with code RSBN25. Now, a licensed physician from their team reviews your information and, if appropriate, issues the prescription. All Family Pharmacy handles the fulfillment and shipping all in one place, making the entire process super convenient. So you can see what might be right for you. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking and use code RSBN25 to save 25% off. This is before this Sunday. You can actually order up until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday night, August 16th. So just a little bit more than 48 hours from now. Let's go from one great sponsor to another, Birch Gold Group. You don't wait until your house is on fire, of course, to install a smoke detector. And then you don't wait until the wind and rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for that hurricane. You don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash, the hurricane, or that house fire, it's just too late. And within that framework, you don't wait for the dollar to go to zero before you buy gold. It's just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. We don't know what's next, but you can take a preventative step, and you can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from our friends at Birch Gold Group. Just text Trump to that number, 989898. There's no cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. We trust Birch Gold here at RSBN. You can trust them too. Just text Trump to 989898 to get that ball rolling. At the top of the next hour, we'll be going to New York, Nassau County specifically, part of the island, Long Island. We'll also be going to Staten Island to hear from Robert Burkhead, of course, more of a regular, it seems, on the network, especially when New York is involved. And today, New York is involved. President Trump returning to his home state, the Empire State, not in Queens, but just a little bit further east in Nassau County, where President Trump will deliver remarks. We'll be taking that live a little bit later. In the meantime, let's stick to maybe the Southeast. Let's go to a great person that I met recently, a MAGA patriot, Dawson Romines, who I met at the recent Georgia Trump rally. Thanks so much for stopping by, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely. So I talked to your buddy yesterday here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. It was you two guys wearing those MAGA hats that my photographer and I, there it is. Might as well throw it on if you want, but there you go. So we saw you guys at the Marietta, Georgia rally. We were at the Chick-fil-A afterwards. You were wearing that hat, and that's how we just started talking. And I said, hey, you guys want to come on the show? I mean, it's pretty simple to sometimes connect with people. And I want to hear your story then, since we went from a Chick-fil-A to now a national broadcast here. Tell us what you're up to as a MAGA patriot, and tell us, first of all, what it was like in Marietta that day for that Trump event.
Absolutely. The event was great. I mean, there was thousands of people. And I feel like it's hard not to have energy when you're at one of those events, because this is such a pivotal moment in our history. It's a genuine turning point, a genuine shift from just the degeneracy, the attacks from the left, just trying to tear down America, not just like different strategies for America. It's, do you hate America or do you love America? And then you have a politician up there. You have this guy up there who took a bullet standing for saying he loves America. So it's hard not to have energy there. And there was like maybe, a dozen protesters, and everyone just laughed at him or ignored him. Like there was just no energy from the other side, and just heaps of energy from people supporting the president.
You know what it seems like? What you just said there, right when you said that there was just a few people across the street, I really think that, I know that there's a decent amount of brainwashed, liberal thinking people out there. And I was a little brainwashed back in the day. It's hard not to come out with that when you go to a college or you go to a school and they tell you these certain things about government and all that. But there's that detox process. The point is, the massive majority of the people there were God-fearing, God, family, country, freedom, we the people, love the president, love all that, right? And that's what it seems like is across our nation, from New Jersey to California. It just seems like the majority of the country is that way. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. I think there is just such a vocally loud left wing. So many people who are conservatives, who are Christian, who are just ordinary folks, just want to be left alone. And they say the person who wants to be left alone is always going to be beat by the person who wants to win. And so you have so many people who just hands off and say, oh, it'll go fine. I don't see it in my corner. And then it comes to you, like our own city, been conservative for a long time. And all of a sudden there was a pride parade this month. But it starts waking people up and saying, hold on, maybe there's not a place you can run to. Maybe you actually do have to stand firm, and you do have to be salt and light in the world and say, hey, this is biblical truth. This is just common sense truth. This is natural law. I have to stand for this and say, I'm going to be louder than the opposition, which is trying to tear down everything which we have built.
It's exactly right. It's exactly what Christians and believers within the Holy Bible, the Judeo-Christian, faith is, to be salt to the earth, right? That indirectly is a seasoning, right? Figuratively speaking. And that's what we are, salt and light. And that's pretty awesome. Now, walking the path and going for it every day, I mean, thank God for his grace, but still, let's talk about that. Because I know when we were talking at that Chick-fil-A after that Marietta rally, you were saying something about being involved in ministry. Tell us an update with how that's going, and where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Sounds like a job interview.
Yes, sir. Well, I love where I work. I work at my local church in Fayette County, Georgia. I work really an associate position. I work with the college and career, those who are shut-ins and homebounds, those who are senior adults. I get the whole range. I get to preach. I get to lead Bible studies. I get to counsel and visit. And the purpose of it is just to glorify God and build up his church. It is to be, like you said, salt and light. Salt is a seasoning. It's a flavor, but it's also a preservative against rot. It kills rot. And I'm standing in the gap as one who is trying to equip God's people to serve him, to glorify him in their work, in their families, in the kitchen, in the tailor shop, like everywhere they go, whether it's politics or private life. It looks like leaning on God's grace. It looks like being continual in his word and prayer. And so I love the job. in 5 years, I think I see myself in the same job. I don't know what role it'll look like. I trust God's providence, but it's the same task no matter what. Is we are called to call people to faithfulness and encourage them and equip them to continue walking in the ways which God has set for us.
Exactly. So sounds like pastor or congressional candidate in Georgia, or both. We'll see what happens, right?
Whatever the Lord will.
Yeah, amen to that. So, all right. So finally, what's it like, with some of your friends and family out there, knowing that you're on, RSBN today? Did you tell anybody? What did they say?
I told quite a few folks, and I told them all to pray for me because I need it. I got a great supportive network of family and friends, and you need that. You really do, especially now when the opposition is so strong, so loud. You really need to find your tribe, find your people who will pray for you, support you, encourage you, counsel you. And so I've been encouraged because I have a lot of people praying for me right now.
Awesome stuff. Dawson Romines, thanks again for joining us from Georgia. And let's stay in touch and have you back on again.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome stuff there in Georgia. So we started our broadcast in the Sunshine State. Then we went up to the Peach State. Then we're going to go to the Empire State a little bit later for a live interview. But also, of course, President Trump in Nassau County a little bit later in a broadcast. So about 70 minutes to be exact, if it's right on time. We'll see if it's right on time. Regardless, thanks so much for joining us on this Friday, August 14th. Let's go to a few of our sponsors in the meantime here on RSBN, mypillow.com/RSBN. All right, so you guys already know the so-called spiel, right? The pillows, the sheets, all the things, but they are actually quality, great products. If you don't have any of those, give it a try. Just if you got paid today, maybe spend a few bucks on it. If you didn't get paid today or you just don't have the money, hey, it's America, we got to keep working, keep working hard. But the point is, you can get a huge discount by using that RSBN promo code. And last time Mike Lindell was on the broadcast, he talked about free shipping. So I believe that's still happening by using that RSBN promo code. So mypillow.com/RSBN. Scroll through there, check it out, see what you like, maybe make a purchase. Because I know some of you probably go on Amazon. I've gone on Amazon, of course. You buy something or whatever. But why not just shift over to mypillow.com and get something there too. If you'd like to donate to Right Side, all you got to do is go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate. All right, I believe we might have one more sponsor. Okay, let's go to this one. We'll go to this next one here. Parents and grandparents, real talk for a second. Democratic Socialists are winning primaries, and gaining political influence heading into that 2026 midterm. And their ideas in favor of higher taxes, welfare programs, bigger government are not only threatening our way of life today, but they could destroy your children's future because it's all about freedom. And obviously socialism, communism, totally against that. And your kids are bound to hear more about socialism as we approach the midterms. But depending on the source, like their public school teachers, not all of them, but a lot of them, they could be hearing that socialism is better than capitalism and that socialism is the answer to all of our problems. What a crock of you-know-what. Of course, parents want to be in control of this conversation so your kids don't risk being brainwashed into believing these lies. And that's why I want to tell you about the Kid's Guide to Fighting Socialism. Designed specifically for kids, this important guide explains the differences between capitalism, socialism, and socialism's big brother, communism. In a way kids can understand, it explains crucial concepts such as free markets, individual freedom, the best thing ever, freedom, right? And government overreach. The Kid's Guide to Fighting Socialism also helps kids understand why socialism and communism have never worked by taking your kids through different historical examples from the Plymouth colony's failed attempt at socialism, Cuba's disastrous situation, and then across the globe in the past with the Soviet Union and current communist China, and then you can think about North Korea and other countries too, to really show them how socialistic practices failed miserably. And remember, with the midterms coming up, this is especially important for kids to learn right now. And that's why the Kids Guide is giving you the Kids Guide to Fighting Socialism for free today. It's part of a free gift bundle that also includes the Kids Guide to Free and Fair Elections. So the guides are free and yours to keep. You just need to pay that $2 for the shipping and handling for the special offer. So to learn more and order your free copy of the Kids Guide to Fighting Socialism and your free bonus guide, just visit kidsfightingsocialism.com. That's kidsfightingsocialism.com. It may be the most important thing you do for your children or grandchildren this year. All right, so we're about 6 minutes from the top of the hour. Some great sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Kind of humid, kind of foggy there in the D.C. region because that's a live look. Looking a little swampy. When we don't like swamp, we want to drain the swamp. And of course, there are still some swamp creatures there in that city. But hey, the establishment is, I don't know. We're trying to get that Save America Act passed, but we're not seeing it at this point. But anyway, we know that President Trump is in New York, as you see there. He'll be at that police academy in Nassau County. So we'll be going there in just a little bit. Let's do this. Let's take a commercial break. We have more live interviews, more footage to get to, more news to talk about in the 24/7 news cycle. We're just getting started on this Friday. We'll be right back.
It's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
MyPillow.com/RSBN, the spot to go as we're looking live at the Thomas Jefferson Memorial in our nation's capital. Good afternoon once again. Welcome to RSBN Live. President Trump will deliver remarks in Nassau County, New York today at 3 o'clock Eastern. And speaking of that, President Trump spoke about this on Truth Social, saying, quote, "I'm looking forward to being back in the great state of New York tomorrow," which is today, of course. This was yesterday's post, where highly respected and very popular Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman is running to be the next governor. Bruce is MAGA all the way and has been with me from the very beginning. As Nassau County Executive, he is working tirelessly with the brave heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement to keep our border secure, stop migrant crime, safeguard our community, and ensure law and order. As your next governor, Bruce will continue to fight hard to grow the economy, cut taxes and regulations, promote Made in the USA, champion American energy dominance, strengthen our military and veterans, advance election integrity, and protect our always under siege Second Amendment. President Trump said, quote, "Bruce Blakeman is a fantastic guy, will win the big November election, and without hesitation has my complete and total endorsement for governor of the once great state of New York. Bruce will make it great again and will never let you down." President Donald J. Trump speaking about his home state, of course, the Empire State of New York, which he is in today. We'll see him in about an hour from now. Meantime, joining us now is the CEO of Old Glory Bank, Mike Ring, who just made an announcement to Old Glory customers. Mike, thanks so much for joining us here on Right Side.
Hey, thanks for having me, Matthew. And I think you got that because you're a customer. Can I say that on the air?
I guess we could let the cat out of the bag.
And thank you for your business, and hopefully
Yeah.
we're treating you well.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great bank, and it's great to have partnerships with people like John Rich and others as well. So can you talk to us a little bit about Old Glory Bank? If someone's like, wait, what bank? Can you give us just that 30,000-foot view again?
Yeah, absolutely. We started in 2023 when it wasn't the administration we have today, and we were proudly talking about we were going to be the market solution to debanking. And everyone thought we were crazy. They were like, oh, there's no debanking. And if there is, it's the regulators. And now we know the truth that the banks were debanking. And so we were tired of just talking about it. So Ben Carson, John Rich, myself, Larry Elder, Sean Spicer, we got together and said, let's start a bank that won't debank people, provide the best products and service from nationwide. We have customers in all 50 states. I think we're one of the fastest growing banks maybe ever. And it's just been an amazing result thanks to viewers who watch your great show.
Yeah, no, it's great to see that. And also, when I've called as a customer before, it's very easy to speak with people that you can understand, and they're right there for you. It's just an easygoing experience. I know, right?
Customer service team in Oklahoma, not offshore. Like, what a concept!
I know. Trust me, it's great, and you don't have this like whole AI prompt thing. I don't think. I mean, just it's very easy.
And no, listen, we use AI to make us more efficient. Under my watch, no customer will ever talk to a bot or AI.
Thank God. I love it. I wish the other CEOs would take note. I mean, so it's pretty cool to have someone that's on the right side of history and as a CEO. This is Mike Ring again for those of you joining us. And we were just talking about something else too. There's two sides to every coin, whether you go public or stay private. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say that for 7 months, I was running around bragging about how we were going to be the first bank to do what's called a de-SPAC. And a de-SPAC is a transaction where you merge into a public company and you bypass the long process to go public through a direct listing or an underwritten offering. And I was a securities lawyer for 30 years, before I was even a banker. So I was pretty excited to do this. We did all the hard work. We found the right partner. We got our registration statement made effective by the SEC, and we were running up to literally the day of our public company stockholder meeting for our SPAC sponsor, and we had been working for 170 days to get the Federal Reserve to approve this, and this is my bad, and I own it. I've spent 3 years saying that the Federal Reserve is corrupt and that they hurt small banks to protect big banks, and truth happens to be correct here, and literally days before we were about to have the public company stockholder meeting, they called us up and said, we're not going to approve this. And we're like, we've been at this for 170 days. We spent 150 pages of submissions. What is happening here? And then, and I tell you, I'm going public on everything, and so thanks for having me. And then they had the audacity to say, well, we'd like you to withdraw your submission. And the reason why is they don't want to do a definitive answer and have me then sue them, and that's what I'm waiting on. Federal Reserve, you told me you were going to not approve it, formally disapprove it so that I can sue you.
Wow, there you go, right here on the show, the CEO.
So we're staying private. We've always been a bank that was owned by Main Street. We got 6,600 stockholders. I love them. Thankfully, a lot of them said when I told them, well, maybe going public wasn't the right answer. Maybe God intended you to stay private. So we're staying private. We'll figure out a public offering in the future. I do want to create a market for our great stockholders. We have 6,000 retail stockholders. I want to create that market. We'll get there in a couple of years where we don't need the Federal Reserve approval.
Well, that'll be great to see. I mean, really, again, this is something where if you're looking for a bank experience, and this is not, by the way, this is not a sponsorship. This is not a paid thing. You guys aren't paying me anything. This is, I know the PR team that works with you guys, and they've given us other guests as well, and you're one of the guests that is represented. So, but when I saw the whole private and public situation happen, I thought, well, let's talk about it. But a personal story out of it is, again, if you're looking for a bank that is on the right side of history, conservative, you get people that are in a U.S.-based center, of course, in Oklahoma where the bank is based. This is a great experience with this bank, and their cards look great too, by the way. And who doesn't want to see Old Glory Bank with the flag? I mean, come on. It's a way.
Go into Starbucks, go into a woke company, and slap that card down. Like tell people.
Yeah, walk into Starbucks and Old Glory Bank. Anyway. No, that's good stuff. So what does the future look like now that you're staying private, owned by Main Street? Is it just growth by more and more citizens saying, you know what, I want to at least open an account? So here's the question, though, I had when I started. There's no Old Glory Bank branch in New Jersey or Pennsylvania or Oregon, it's in Oklahoma, right? So how do you do this digitally, have a bank that's not even a brick and mortar type?
Well, these are really good layup questions. I'm going to do a couple things. One is you can open an account in about 8 minutes. I've been saying 8 minutes for 3 years, by the way. It takes like 3 minutes, but I just am still used to saying 8 minutes. You can do a business account like in less than an hour. Most banks take days to do a business account, but this is where we're actually using AIs to open business accounts, and it's changed everything. So we have 90,000 accounts across all 50 states. So you can do all your banking on your phone. Like you, Matt, when's the last time you even went into a bank? You can do cashier's check through your phone, and we have one of the greatest products. It's called Old Glory Cash In. Let's say that you want to deposit cash. You work for tips and no tax on tips, thanks to our president. You can walk into one of 88,000 locations, every Walmart, every Walgreens, every Dollar General, which is in every small town that I live in America, and you can deposit cash in 7 seconds. So we've solved the not going to the branch. Now, if you're driving down Route 66, you're going through Oklahoma, go a little bit north and stop in Elmore City and visit Our Ladies. Our branch has been there since 1903, longer than the state of Oklahoma has even been a state, and it's phenomenal. If you say you're out of state, we'll give you a little gift, and please give us a chance. And if you're ever not happy, as Matt will tell you, I'm the only CEO you can get to. This is my real email, MikeRing@oldglorybank.com. If you ever have a problem and our great team members can't solve it, you reach out to me. I'm 24/7.
There you go. I mean, there's the pitch I've ever heard right here. A good one with the Old Glory Bank CEO, Mike Ring. Thanks again for joining us here on the network. And I hope that you guys continue to just grow throughout the country, because it's something where it's, again, when it's easy access and when it's somebody that you can understand when you have a question about your money and all the things, it's so much easier to hear from someone that speaks proficient English. It's not bad to say that, So anyway,
Amen.
Good stuff. Mike Ring, thanks
with
again
your help, we will keep growing. So thank you, Matt.
No, definitely. You got it. Mike Ring, the CEO of Old Glory Bank. Thanks again for joining us. Awesome stuff there with Mike of Old Glory Bank. All right, good stuff. Again, connected to Larry Elder and Dr. Ben Carson, John Rich, great Patriots, doing some great things there for that bank in Oklahoma. Let's go to a few of our sponsors in the meantime. Specifically, All Family Pharmacy is one of them. So if you've been hearing more about peptides lately, you may be wondering what these options are and where to find them. You already know All Family Pharmacy is RSBN's trusted pharmacy partner, but did you know they also offer peptides and biohacking options? For those of you looking to support your overall wellness, energy, recovery, or weight management goals, they offer different options worth checking out. Now 25% off. That includes NAD+, one of the most popular biohacking options right now, commonly used to support cellular energy and healthy aging. They also offer glutathione for antioxidant support, Samorlin to support the body's natural growth hormone production, and GLP-1 options for weight loss. So you can learn more and submit your order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking with code RSBN25. A licensed physician from their team reviews your information and, if appropriate, issues the prescription. All Family Pharmacy handles the fulfillment and shipping all in one place, making the entire process super convenient. See what might be right for you. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking. Use that RSBN25 promo code to save that 25% off. This sale goes up until Sunday night, August 16th. Let's go to our next sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. You see Birch Gold. You don't wait until your house is on fire to install a smoke detector, and you don't wait till the wind and rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane. You don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late. Within that framework, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It really is just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. We don't know what's coming, but you can take a preventative step. And you can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from our friends at Birch Gold Group. Just text Trump to that number, 989898. No cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. We trust Birch Gold. You can trust them too. Text Trump to 989898. Great sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Precious metals, definitely a great option out there. And speaking of money and banking and all the things, now the whole word debanking, we haven't heard it that much lately because, we don't have a Biden in the office. We have Trump. And back in the day, if you remember, Donald Trump Jr. actually, I think it was one of his accounts with one of the banks out there was either debanked or penalized or something. And Don Jr. talked about it on X at the time. I think it was maybe called Twitter still. So that's the point about Old Glory Bank, that you see just a better option. I know there's a lot of banks out there, and I work with that one, and I work with a few others too, but it's great to be being a part of anything conservative industry. I'm a fan of that. All right, so let's see what's up next. How about this? Why don't we kind of reset? There's a number of stories to get to, a number of live interviews. Let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back here on Right Side.
It's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. Thanks again for live streaming with us here on various social media platforms, including the great Rumble. Glad to have you with us. And also, we'll be watching the president here in Nassau County, New York. For those unfamiliar, Nassau County is the western side of Long Island, right? So Suffolk County is all the way to the east, where Montauk is way out there in the middle, almost of the ocean. And then Nassau County, and then just to the west of that, you're getting into Long Island City and Queens and Manhattan and all of that. So I went to a hockey game in Nassau County back in the day. The New York Islanders played out there, and I believe it was called Uniondale, actually, now that I think of it. And I think they play in Brooklyn now, if I have all my towns correct. Or maybe they moved back and they have a new arena. It's been a minute. So those of you that are big-time New York Islander fans, I apologize. But I think they are back in Uniondale, right? Anyway, I'll have to ask that to our guest that's coming up in just a little bit, Robert Burkhead, who lives in New York City. Let's get the latest, meantime, on American energy independence from the Trump administration. Here's a video from the U.S. Department of Energy, clip number 2.
President Trump cares deeply about Americans. That's why affordability is top of mind. And we have worked tirelessly to advance opportunities, make wise investment decisions to allow for reliable, affordable, secure energy to exist for Americans. One of the key areas that we've seen that is the investment into our existing coal plants. Coal makes up a third of the global power generation. It's about 15 to 17% of U.S. electricity generation. But most importantly, coal shows up when you need it most, over and over again, whether it's Winter Storm Fern or the warm days during the July 4th celebration. Coal stepped up in a big way when other intermittent energy sources fell by the wayside.
And there you see it, unleashing American energy dominance. The president talking a lot about clean, beautiful coal as well. We've had a number of interviews with the great people of West Virginia, including State Senator Chris Rose in the past, I believe a third or fourth generation miner there. So great to see that happening in our country. Something that's not great that is happening in our country is the following. President Trump talking on Truth Social about this. Our beautiful World War II memorial is just hit by spray painting vandals. There can be no greater insult to those American heroes who died in World War II. First, the reflecting pool, now this. We are on their trail. Where do these animals come from? President DJT. There's a photo out there, too, of, I believe it's a lady, just spray painting and just being ridiculous. Again, what drives a person to do that? You guys have the answer, right? And so do I. It's called being woke, being brainwashed, or being superly is not even a word, but it's just being really disturbed, and you make these dumb decisions out there. But anyway, let's also go to President Trump's Truth Social post, clip number 4. He said, "I am proud to announce that Kevin Rideout, a wonderful Christian missionary, is back in the United States. Kevin was kidnapped by jihadi terrorists in West Africa, the epicenter of Islamist terrorism, where there have been more deadly attacks in the past year than anywhere else on earth. Kevin, the United States of America, looks forward to welcoming you home. Glad to have helped. President Donald J. Trump." Great to see that. And there are a number of times that we've been talking with some people based in Nigeria. Across Nigeria is the website there. And we've been talking to the CEO and the founder of that group who are helping Christians who are being persecuted and killed in northern Nigeria because radical Muslims go and just cause havoc. And not only that, the radical Muslims are killing other Muslims that aren't as radical. It's just this absolute mess. Talk about evil and brainwashing. No wonder we don't want Sharia law in our country. Sharia law goes alongside more of that extremist viewpoint, of course. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. Let's continue on to some of our sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, including Kalshi.com/RSBN. There's a ton of great topics to check out there with Kalshi, whether it's politics/elections, sports, commodities, weather, a lot about the midterm primary elections that are coming up. There's a number of them on Tuesday, including, I believe it's Alaska, Wyoming, and Florida. I'm going to double check that right now on the fly. I'm going to go through some of my notes here. And Alaska, Florida, and Wyoming. Exactly. So that's August 18th, but also the November election. A lot of people talking about that as well on Kalshi.com/RSBN. And also someone here at our network is really excited about the fact that football is back. Apparently there was a preseason NFL game last night. So, and our other guests that joined us talked about Friday night lights, basically. So the football season's getting back up and going. And then we'll be seeing, of course, college around the corner. So looking forward to that. Let's go from Kalshi.com, the 3 ways to get to Kalshi, of course, you saw them there. Let's go to Cove Pure. This one's great too because, most of us know there's chlorine in our tap water. We smell it sometimes, we shrug, and we drink it anyway. And the reason why we drink it is because we've been told, hey guys, it's what keeps our water safe. But what they don't tell you is what chlorine becomes after it's added to your water. And that's why it's so important to filter your water through Cove Pure. Chlorine itself isn't even the biggest problem. We're told chlorine levels in your water are regulated, but what's not regulated are the chemicals that form when chlorine reacts with naturally occurring organic matter from rivers, soil, and plant matter. When chlorine interacts with those particles, it creates chemical byproducts called THMs. So the government itself calls THMs probable human carcinogens. They've been linked to disruption of your gut and also linked to cancer. So those pitcher filters that you see at the store, they won't fix this because they can improve the taste of chlorine by masking it. But these THMs require something far more powerful, and that's exactly what Cove Pure is. They have that clear wave reverse osmosis technology, certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants. And it's not just the THMs, fluoride, PFAs, pharmaceuticals. Basically, if it isn't H2O, if it isn't water, Cove Pure removes it. And the thing doesn't take up much room. You can see it right there on your countertop. You don't have to call someone in to install it. You just plug it in right there. You get hot, cold, or warm water instantly with the tap of a button. And finally, the feedback on Cove Pure from our viewers has been incredible. People have told us they can literally taste the difference. And I believe this next line, I believe it all what we're talking about here, but I believe this next line is very, very true. Clean water is one of the best investments you can make for you and your family's health. Right now, they're giving RSBN viewers $250 off if you use our link. So just go to covepure.com/RSBN, covepure.com/RSBN. Making me thirsty for some filtered water. I never really said that sentence in my entire life, actually, but I just did. It's good stuff. I love it. I love that you can, if you got to wake up at 3 in the morning because you're hungry for a quick snack and you go to the fridge and you want to drink some water quickly, get that refreshed taste. Last thing I want to do is go to the tap, pour some tap water in that cup and drink it. And the aftertaste, man, I just can't hang with that. Anyway, it's Friday. Glad you're here with us. We're going to see the president here in just a little bit. Looking forward to it. We're going to Nassau County for that speech that the president has. So let's go to clip number 5. It's a new video coming from the Department of, speaking of Health and Human Services, clip number 5.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and we're here today at a roundtable to talk about work requirements in our public assistance programs. And I'm very honored to be here with Speaker Gingrich. We also had Tommy Thompson, 2 of the architects of the Welfare Reform Act of 1996. It turned out to be the biggest poverty alleviation program in history. We went from 5 million people on that program to only 1 million, and the rest of them went off and got jobs.
TANF brought necessary reform to a broken system. Now TANF itself needs reform.
Today, only 8% of the people are actually working.
30 years ago, when TANF was created, it was the most successful welfare reform in a generation. But 30 years later, we are starting to see states water down requirements, cut corners, and expose loopholes rather than get people back to work.
Many states have used TANF funds for purposes unrelated to the program's goals.
Today is a time for us to look forward. How do we get back? How do we get people working again?
We should insist across the board that you do not get money from the federal government unless you've earned it. And if you're not prepared to earn it, you're not going to have money. This is an American people's issue, not Republican, not Democrat. The American people believe in work. The American people want families to have a better future.
That is after. We are requiring 80 hours per month. It's not that much of looking for jobs, of getting education, of doing community service. It is real compassion rather than the phony compassion of the centralized bureaucracy.
The great MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. Years ago when people talked about the toxins or the chemicals or the dye in our food and the processing and all the stuff, people, it wasn't mainstream to talk about it in the sense of you didn't hear it from politicians, you didn't hear it from people in charge, but you do now, and it's great to see it, and I'm sure people are happy about that. All right, even though it's very difficult, to be honest, personal side note, to not eat some processed food here and there. Holy smokes. Anyway, all right, so let's do this. We have some live interviews coming up. We know that the president's going to join, I was going to say join us. Maybe he will someday. We know that the president has given RSBN some shout outs back in the day. I remember some of those. Anyway, we're going to see the president about 37 minutes from now. We have a live interview in Florida coming up in about 7 minutes. And then about 15 or so, we'll be going to New York for a live interview as well as we get ready to hear from the President of the United States. It's a beautiful Friday there. You can see the tourists at the Thomas Jefferson Memorial walking around. That's the live picture there. And, you know, at the end of the day, having the National Guard there is great. I saw a report, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because I didn't research it enough. It was just a quick glance. You know how there's a lot of news, and we're in that information age where we're on X, on Truth Social, at least I am, right? And you're scrolling through and you're looking for different news stories, and you work your sources and that kind of thing. And I think I saw something where there's this judge that's trying to put a stop to the National Guard. Okay, actually, I'm recalling it right now. Actually, FBI Director Kash Patel talked about this on X. I think it was just recently, that there's politically motivated things trying to stop the National Guard from being in Washington, D.C. That is awful. It's awful to see that someone's like, hey, you know what? Let's take the National Guard away, who has brought a very big sense of safety there. And not only a sense, the crime numbers have dramatically dropped. So why would you want to take that away again? Oh yeah, and why would you not want to have voter ID or proof of citizenship? Why would you want to have drag story hour for our kids? Why again? Because you're against our country, so please just maybe move to another country. Might be a little bit easier for you and us. Anyway, let's go to President Trump. It's Friday, guys, so thanks for joining us. Let's go to New York City because President Trump just touched down there. We have some video of that. Let's go to clip 6.
Where are we going now? For that door. Number 4 years. They tell us, I think, whatever. Yeah. The Oscar helicopter.
All right, so that's, I'm assuming, one of the major airports in New York City, whether it's LaGuardia, JFK, and then outside of the city, Newark. Maybe it's even Teterboro in New Jersey. Who knows? Most likely not Teterboro. It's a large airplane when it comes to Air Force One. So one of the 3 airports, then the president boarding Marine One. He'll take that over to Nassau County, a quick flight right over the Big Apple and over his home borough of Queens. I'm sure he'll be looking down and remembering the days of being brought up in Queens, and maybe he'll even see Trump Tower. Anyway, and then he'll land there in Nassau County and then deliver that speech in about 33 minutes from now. We're going to go to Florida in just a second for another live interview there. A congressional candidate will be joining us. But in the meantime, parents and grandparents, let's have a real talk for a second, because, you know, Democratic Socialists are winning some primaries out there. They're gaining some political influence heading into that 2026 midterm in November. And their ideas are in favor of course, higher taxes, welfare programs, bigger government. And they're threatening our way of life today, but they could destroy your children's future as well, because your kids are bound to hear more about socialism as we approach the midterms. But depending on the source, though, like maybe a public school teacher or someone else out there, not saying every public school teacher is talking about socialism and saying it's better than capitalism and that socialism is the answer to all of our problems. Of course, parents, we want to be in control of this conversation so our kids don't risk being brainwashed into believing these lies. So that's what I want to tell you about the Kid's Guide to Fighting Socialism, designed specifically for kids. Now, this important guide explains the differences between capitalism and socialism's big, ugly brother, communism, in a way kids can understand. It explains crucial concepts such as free markets, individual freedom, and government overreach. The Kid's Guide to Fighting Socialism also helps kids understand why socialism and communism have never worked and never will, by taking your kids through different historical examples, from the Plymouth colony's failed attempt at socialism to Cuba's disastrous situation, and back in the day with the Soviet Union, and currently with communist China and North Korea, to name a few examples. It's really to show kids how socialistic practices failed miserably. And remember, with the midterms coming up, this is especially important for kids to learn right now. And that's why the Kids Guide is giving you the Kids Guide to Fighting Socialism for free today. Now, it's part of a free gift bundle that also includes the Kids Guide to Free and Fair Elections. The guides are free and yours to keep. All you have to do is pay that $2 shipping and handling for the special offer. So to learn more and order your free copy of the Kids Guide to Fighting Socialism and your free bonus guide, just visit kidsfightingsocialism.com. That's kidsfightingsocialism.com. Maybe the most important thing you can do for your child or your grandchildren this year. And if you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, all you have to do is go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate. All right, it's the bottom of the hour. We're live here on this Friday. Hopefully you have some decent plans this weekend, or if you have no plans and you're staying in the air conditioning, I hear you. Returning now to a very, very warm place, the Sunshine State, where Florida's primary election is this coming Tuesday. Joining us now is Florida congressional candidate Bia Valenti. Thanks so much for joining us, Bia.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so 4 days and counting. How you feeling?
So excited. The momentum is crazy. And it's so funny. It is like any other thing in Florida. It's raining one day and then it's 100 degrees the next, and the next hour it just changes on a daily basis. Yesterday feels like was 118 and we were still out knocking doors, because knocking doors wins wars. And that's what we're going to do on Tuesday. We're going to win. That's awesome. So tell us some of the things that you're talking about with constituents, and also what are they saying to you, or hopeful future constituents, what are they saying to you? What's the real talk when it comes to this? Like, what are they saying to you? They are voters and people I'm knocking down the doors. They are so thankful for President Trump securing our borders. Time and time again, every door that I knock, every call that I make, they say, keep securing our borders and thank God for President Trump. This is exactly what we voted for. And they do. They want to see the Save America Act passed. Those are the top two things that I'm hearing. And I think that, House Republicans have done a phenomenal job, and so has our party, in getting that message out as far as passing the SAVE Act, several times in the House and sending it to the Senate to get done. We need to secure our elections, because the Democrats, they do not play fair. They want to cheat, they want to lie, they want to steal. That's the only way that they can win, because their messages don't win. So I think that's something that the House Republicans are delivering on. And then, of course, like I said, a secure border. I mean, after 16 months, 0 releases into the interior, after a disastrous open flooded gate, Joe Biden, we have millions of undocumented illegal immigrants. We have no idea where they are at, except for the president is reporting them. Exactly. And we remember those pictures, those images out of Eagle Pass, Texas, of all of the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, not only coming across the Rio Grande into Texas and other places, but also remember they were flown into various airports across the country. What was that like when you saw that kind of stuff? I mean, it's disturbing, and it's a slap in the face to all the legal immigrants that are in this country that did things the right way. My grandmother came here from Cuba, and that's the story of so many legal immigrants in the state of Florida, especially, where they pay their dues, they follow the rules, and they want to chase the American dream and follow our laws. So when you see the Democrats who side with illegal immigrants over the patriots of this country, it's a slap in the face. But that's the Democratic Party. They would rather pander to the illegal left than decide what can we do to bring the American dream as a reality to the people who want to do it the right way and who want to go through the process. My grandpa as well from Cuba came here the right way through marriage and the whole nine. But there's a million things I want to talk about right now, because we have the election coming up. We have the midterm national convention on September 9th and 10th. Will you attend? But also, even if you don't, what's that like for the momentum going into November? It's great. I do plan to be there. I think this is the first time of its kind to do something in the midterms. And I think that's the way that we rally the base. That's the way that we get people out and moving. As you know, as part of any good congressional campaign and part of our party is the grassroots volunteers, the people who are door knocking in 100-degree weather, who are making calls, who are staying engaged and fighting for this country. I know this is where I start to get politically in the weeds here, but when you think about the amount of people who are actually registered to vote, and in my case, Hillsborough County with over 1 million people, and then the percentage of that who's actually registered to vote, and then the percentage of that actually turn out for primary and then November is such a small fraction that's determining the rest of our country. And so when you have the left that deploys these people because George Soros and other crazy leftists are paying them to get out to vote, Republicans need to play ball. We have to do the same thing. We have to get our base out and voting. And I think you're seeing that because they are fed up. They're seeing people like Abdul. They're seeing Mamdani. They're seeing leftists. I mean, Ms. Hong was just barely there. But when you actually look at who she lost to, Mr. Crowley, there's not a lot of daylight that separates them. It's just two different people. So these policies, I think people are starting to see that too close for comfort is still too close for comfort. Even though we got the lesser of the two evils, it was still too close. And we still have an uphill battle to go. You never take anything for granted, but we know that patriotism, love for this country, love for God, that's what wins. And so I'm very excited for the midterms event.
Oh, that is exactly right. That is exactly right. Love for God, love for patriotism. You know, what you were just saying, the lesser of two evils, I was thinking about how that lesser of two evils might be just masking the same equal amount of evil. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of times you can come out and say certain things, but really though, what's the common sense thing of what you're trying to push? What agenda do you have out there? I mean, you're naming people like George Soros. We know that there's these receipts that we've seen out there when it comes to people getting paid by the Soros teams to get out there to be a part of these Democratic rallies that are happening, to act like there's all this support. I still can't get over the fact, I don't know if you saw this, but Saeed had some event in Michigan. I think AOC was there, maybe Bernie Sanders. And when Bernie Sanders showed up, you know, I don't look at just Bernie. I look at the crowd. What are they doing? And I zoom in, and that's just part of what I do. I'm an investigative journalist type too. And I'm telling you, it was like President Trump was walking up. You know how at those rallies, everybody's with their phones and it's this genuine thing. With Bernie, it's this very like formulaic, oh, wow, it's Bernie. It's just a weird, there's something going on there. I have to get more information on it. But do you understand what I'm saying?
I absolutely understand what you're saying, and it's disingenuous. It seems so fake because all they do is promise free. This is going to be so great, even though, and I'm so glad I heard you say in your last segment about educating our youth, because that's where it starts, right? And the formative mind and the formative brain of getting involved in politics. Well, having this free thing, having things that I can't have the easy way, if government's just going to give it to me, well, sign me up for that. But that's not what this is about. This is about taking everything that you own, taking private property, and having the government control your entire life. And at first that may sound good, but then when you talk to people who have survived socialism and communism, they're on schedules of when they can pick up milk once a week or when they can pick up chicken. And then the next week there is no chicken. So now you have to eat something else. That is not freedom. That is not what the American dream is about. And I think Americans see through that. Again, when we talk about what's actually real, and you're talking about the affordability crisis, or you're talking about, you know, here in Hillsborough when hurricanes hit and we have flooding, or we have disasters that we need to take care of, or we have MacDill Air Force Base housing here and the housing there is completely dilapidated, and yet we have a member who has not given it any attention whatsoever and yet has been elected for 18 years. People are tired of that. They want to hear real solutions for our county, separate from what's going on nationally. But if you don't address those things at the root cause here at the county level, and I say at the county level because this seat is only one county, you know, it's not like any other congressional district, it truly is one county. So you have to tackle those issues head on, as we also try to combat this national narrative of the left getting woke more and more woke.
Exactly. So conservatives, we want limited government. Communists want limited freedom. There's a problem there. Finally, Bia, can you tell us what was it that made you say, I'm going to run for office?
You know, I spent the last 10 years of my career in Washington, D.C. I worked for President Donald Trump for 3.5 years, and I was 19 years old when I was hired into the administration, and I was completely red-pilled. I just believed in the mission so much, and I was so honored to work for the president back in his first administration until the very last day. And I saw what good he was doing for our country, and I believed in the mission. I joined the military after that, and then I came back to the Hill to work on legislative policy to further and keep that America First agenda going, even after the president had left office. And so when I saw that opportunity to keep doing that, I did. I was very disenfranchised, I will say, with what I was seeing in Washington. It was very disturbing to me to know that we had the House and we had the Senate, and yet we were still not able to deliver on the mandate that the American people were had given us. And I think you do start to see that in Washington after being there for so long. Politicians think that they know better than their constituents. And so when this seat opened and it was my hometown, my home county, and it's just one county, I knew that we had a real opportunity to get in here and flip this seat from blue to red in a purple district. And you can't just complain about the problem. You have to be ready to jump into the action and jump into the fight. And that's what this is. This is a fight for the House majority. This is a fight to keep Republicans in power, because if we don't, you know it, and so do your viewers, the Democrats will obstruct, impeach, and they will try to put as many leftist policies up as they possibly can. But we will not have it. We will have somebody who's ready on day one, which is me. And I hope that if you know people in Florida's 14th and Hillsborough County, the south and east side, please get them out to vote on Tuesday. Tuesday is our primary election. And I hope that you will vote for Bia Valenti so that we can send a new generational leadership fighter to Congress and an America First patriot.
Usually the interview would end now. Most TV programs, thanks for joining us, and we move on. But I still, and I hear you, and I love that answer, and I'm sure people do too. But I want to know about Bia Valenti when you were at 19, when you said, okay, I'm going to go and work in D.C. What was it personally that drove you to make a decision to do something for the country?
Yeah, I was in my sophomore year at college, and it was the first opportunity when Hillary and the president were in the election. That was my first exposure to politics. I did not grow up in a political family, and so I just followed it really closely. And I was part of the middle class. My mom's a union worker, and I really resonated with what President Trump was saying. It's what I believed, and I thought I want to get on that team. I believe in the mission, and he was right. There were so many swamp animals and swamp people in DC that were really taking away from the American people and really disenfranchising our base. So I felt empowered. I felt like he was doing the right things for our country, and that I felt heard. I felt seen when I was hearing him that first time going down the escalator. And so I just thought, I want to work for this guy. I want an opportunity. And so I did. I put an application in, and I was an intern. At the end of my internship, they asked me to stay. And it was the American dream. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have the pedigree. I didn't have the donor class. I didn't have any of that. They just said, you're the last person here. You have a good attitude. You believe in the mission. You're hired. Wow. And that's what is attainable for everybody in this country. If you work hard, good things will come. And I'm living proof of that. Trust me, by all metrics, I should have never succeeded but for the Trump administration taking a chance on me. And I'm so thankful that they did, because this life has turned out perfect, and I'm so grateful for that.
Bia, I hope the best for you, and I hope that you win this congressional seat. But I mean, what about being a press secretary for the White House? I mean, that would be kind of cool too.
That would be, if you know some people, put in a good word. I'm focused on delivering for Hillsborough County. This is a dream come true. This is my home county. I'm so passionate about serving my home. I am the only candidate. There's 8 of us. I'm the only candidate who's a 4th generation Hillsborough County native, born and raised right here in Tampa Bay. So this is deeply personal to me. And it's like my dream job to think about having the opportunity to serve and represent Hillsborough County.
I think it's awesome. Your heart at that age was to do something. You felt that empowerment to let's do something on the right side of history. You could have been someone that at that age was brainwashed, trying to be empowered as an activist, throwing rocks at ICE vehicles back in the, you know what I mean? Something happened in the right way, and it's the same thing with my story, your story, and anybody on the right side of history. Great time with you here, and best of luck on Tuesday. Again, this is Bia Valenti running for Florida congressional district there. Thanks again for joining us, Bia.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And speaking of, press secretaries, I mean, there's a long list of people that I could think of course, already in the administration. And I can name a bunch of people. Let's go ahead. Why not? So outside of the administration first, Alita Habba would be great. I know there's Jason Miller. I've seen that. Stephen Miller. Who else, right? A bunch of people. Monica Crawley, but they have all these positions. But what about Bia Valenti? She was great. Now, still, I know it's fresh since Carolyn has stepped down, but she's going to be there throughout the month. And still shocked to the news, to be honest with you. Carolyn is a rock star. And if you watched our broadcast yesterday at all, we threw to a Throwback Thursday of an interview that we had with Carolyn about a year before President Trump won his third election in 2025, so 2024. So anyway, if you missed that interview, just go to our X page or Truth Social, whether it's RSBN in the sense of at RSBN for Truth Social or at RSB Network on X, or you can go to my page at Matthew Alvarez on Truth or at Matthew US Media on X. That Throwback Thursday segment of the interview with Carolyn is on there. Great to connect with someone that is on the right side of history. And again, right there, Bia Valenti, you could tell that she speaks our language, Bia does, right? And that's what we want. We want to trust people that speak our language, that will fight for the people. And that's what the name of the game is. And that's what our founders wanted from day one back in the day. I'm preaching to the choir. And that's why President Trump is in the office he is in now, because we the people heard him back in 2015 when he came down that escalator all the way until now. Much rather have this president in than Kamala Harris or Biden or any of those other folks. But we know there's another election coming up, so we'll see what happens in the presidency back in 2028. Anyway, getting a little bit of a bunny trail. It's all right. It's Friday. Let's go to a few of our sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, All Family Pharmacy. If you've been hearing more about peptides lately, you may be wondering what these options are and where to find them, because you already know All Family Pharmacy as RSBN's trusted pharmacy partner. But did you know they also offer peptides and biohacking options? For those of you looking to support your overall wellness, energy, recovery, or weight management goals, they actually offer different options worth checking out. Now 25% off. That includes NAD+, one of the most popular biohacking options right now, commonly used to support cellular energy and healthy aging. They also offer glutathione for antioxidant support, Samorlin to support the body's natural growth hormone production, and GLP-1 options for weight loss. You can learn more and submit your order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking with that code RSBN25. Now, that 25% off, great to see that. That is going to be a sale through Sunday night. Now, a licensed physician from their team reviews your information and, if appropriate, issues the prescription. All Family Pharmacy handles the fulfillment and shipping all in one place, making the entire process very convenient. You can see what might be right for you by visiting that website, allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking. You can go to the QR code as well, and then use that RSBN 25 for 25% off. Again, Sunday, August 16th is the end of that great sale with this great pharmacy. And of course, you don't wait until your house is on fire to install a smoke detector, and you don't wait till the wind and rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane. And you don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late, right? Well, within that framework, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It's just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. We see persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. We don't know what's next, but you can take a preventative step. You can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from my friends at Birch Gold Group. Just text Trump to that number, 989898. There's no cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or a 401k with gold. We trust Birch Gold here at RSBN. You can trust them too. Text Trump to 989898. Two great sponsors here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I believe we may be going to New York next. Let's go to New York, where President Trump will... Actually, let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on Right Side.
Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Piers 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's 10 to 3 o'clock on the East Coast, and that means 10 to 12 o'clock on the West Coast. Wow, I can tell time. Anyway, let's go to New York right now, where President Trump, of course, will deliver a speech at the top of the hour. Robert Burkhead is right there, the president of the Staten Island Young Republicans Club, and joins us live from the Empire State with more on the president's visit. Good afternoon, Robert.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I feel like I'm throwing to you like you're a national correspondent out there, Robert. Go for it. Tell us what it's like, man. I know you're on Staten Island. You're about to go to a fundraising event. But hey, President Trump's in his home state, the Empire State. What's that like to have him there?
It's always great when the president comes home. I think the 5 boroughs, including Manhattan, even though they're a little bluer than the rest of us, everybody gets excited. He is the sitting president. He's fighting for us. He's the best president that I have seen in my lifetime, continuing to fight crime, lower the cost of living, keep us safe nationally, locally, and just continues to fight for us every day. He's the most consequential president that we will, I think, ever see. And, it's just so exciting. And I'm a little jealous of the people of Long Island, but I'm glad that they get a chance to share spending some time with him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's funny because you're on Staten Island and in New York City on a Friday. Getting to Nassau County alone would take an hour and 30 minutes. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah. Not that the Governor Hochul and her crew and the Democrats putting congestion pricing on constituents like myself that have to travel in and around the city. People they're forced then to find alternative means to travel in and around the city. So of course, with security personnel around, the extra additional police presence around, I'm sure that there's traffic as it is, but the traffic is awful at this time, especially on a Friday.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's 2:53, approaching 3 o'clock on a Friday. And if you and I both went on our GPS right now, we'd see the red lines, the spiders of the red lines everywhere around the city. That's part of New York City, but especially with the president in town. Let's talk about that a little bit more, too. I mean, we know that President Trump, when he went to the Bronx back in the day and delivered a speech on the campaign trail, there were a ton of patriots that showed up in deep blue Bronx. I mean, what's it like? I know you live in one of the 5 boroughs there. I know Staten Island's on the right side of history, right?
Yeah, and overwhelmingly too, Staten Island does have a lot of Democrats that are still registered that never changed their party affiliation. But historically, we just vote. I think just common sense values. Staten Island is a borough that houses a lot of blue collar workers, from teachers to the men and women in blue that serve the police department, the fire department, sanitation workers, doctors. And I'm sure the other boroughs are made up similarly. Listen, there's a lot of people that believe in common sense. They want low cost of living. They want to be able to afford buying, the youth today coming out of school, the American dream, buying a home. It's unaffordable. I mean, you have to save a ton of money to put down on a mortgage to buy a home. Rents are the highest they've ever been. We had this clown mayor come in and say that he was going to lower the cost of everything. I don't know what he's done for any of the youth or of America or New York City, I should say. And the cost of living is the highest it's ever been. And so, I think people get rallied around an idea that they need somebody that's going to talk about the kitchen table issues, get off the couch, and that was President Trump. And so he pulled people in from all different areas of New York City, and there's a lot of support out there for him.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it here at the network as well, especially on the side of this coming midterm election. We know how important it is for the direction of our country, for the House, for the Senate, and then upcoming in 2027, the campaign season into 28 for the presidency. So a lot in store for our country, but what direction does it go is the question. And that's why we keep hearing the grassroots kind of feel of talking about the Save America Act. I know it's a repeated thing to talk about, but it's something that's so crucial and important so our country can keep the freedoms that we have and not lose them under a leftist rule.
Yeah, listen, it's so important. I mean, we have to show ID to buy milk these days. It's just insane that this is controversial. This is a sacred right, a right that men and women died for in our history of becoming a country, for the right to vote. And so I don't understand why there's cities like mine, unfortunately, that have these sanctuary policies. And then everybody's going to arrogantly get on the news and say, there is no fraud. There's clearly something wrong that needs to be fixed. I think people want, you look at the polling on it, I think 70 or upwards 75% of people want vote. Even the Democrats want some sort of voter ID in place. It's just common sense, and it's just a Democratic talking point. You can't talk about it. It doesn't happen. It's not true. And that's just not true. I do think, like the president said in the last election, you have to just flood the polls to the person that you support. It is very important that you get out. You think your vote doesn't count? It does. It does. Get out, vote. It's a sacred right. And vote for the people that really, I think, align with your values, and that's what I do in our Young Republican Club. I'm constantly talking to students, young college kids that are looking for jobs and want to get involved after they turn 18. We're a safe haven for you to come and express your ideas. You don't always have to agree with us on everything, but if you agree with us on most things, most ideals, then our candidates on the right side are exactly who you should be voting for.
It sounds like on the right side of history, you have candidates that want law and order, you want safety, you want your freedoms, you want common sense policies, all the things. And there's a massive majority, again, of the country that really, I believe that. Now, were you using an analogy before? You were saying that you had to use an ID to purchase milk. Is that in New York, or are you just joking, kind of like?
No, I was just joking. No,
I'm just making sure. You know, it's funny. Like I wouldn't be surprised though in New York City. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you do have to show ID. You have to show ID for everything. Why shouldn't you show ID? I mean, this mayor, if everybody remembers, during the snowstorm, you had to use 2 forms of ID to sign up to be a snow shoveler when it snowed out. I mean, are we kidding? And you don't have to show ID to vote. The mayor's going to open up a government-run grocery store 4 years from now, which that's another conversation, costing taxpayers a ton of money. And guess how he plans to manage people not just going in there and freelancing, stealing food? You have to show some form of library card, or well, what does that mean? That means an ID. It's just common sense. I don't know why they are so against it. It just makes them, they build into the argument that people, there are some people that don't believe there's fraud happening, or people stealing other people's IDs. It happens all the time. So it's definitely something that to me is just common sense, and I really hope that the Senate gets its act together and passes this bill.
Exactly. Common sense legislation, especially the mail-in ballot aspect of it. President of the Staten Island Young Republican Club, Robert Burkhead, thanks again for joining us here on Right Side. Have a great weekend and enjoy the fundraiser there.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, man. See ya. Good stuff there with Robert on Staten Island. Let's go to a couple sponsors before we go to President Donald J. Trump, where we have a clip of him speaking with the press moments ago. Kalshi.com/RSBN, as you see on your screen there, 3 ways to get to Kalshi. So the QR code, the website, which the QR code takes you to the website, but there's 3 inroads. So the QR code takes you to Kalshi.com/RSBN, and then the app. You can download the Kalshi app. A ton of midterm, primary election topics on there that people are betting, trading, checking out polls. You can do the same if you'd like. More than 1 million people on the site, and that number growing. A great sponsor here on Right Side. Always fun to look at the polls and see what people are saying. Sometimes those polls are more accurate than other polls that are out there, which is interesting because I think it's because money is on the line. And this is truly from people that are saying, well, I think that's going to happen, or this is going to happen, or that person's going to win, or whatever. Kalshi.com/RSBN. Let's go to our next sponsor there, covepier.com/RSBN. Most of us know there's chlorine in our tap water. Great, right? And we smell it sometimes. We sometimes shrug and drink it anyway because we've been told by the government and others, it's what keeps our water safe, guys. But what they don't tell you is what chlorine becomes after it's added to your water. And that's exactly why it's so important to filter your water through Cove Pure, because chlorine itself isn't even the biggest problem. Chlorine levels in your water are regulated, but what's not regulated are chemicals that form when chlorine reacts with naturally occurring organic matter from rivers, soil, and plant matter. So we're told when chlorine interacts with those particles, it creates chemical byproducts called THMs. So the government itself calls THMs, quote, probable human carcinogens. They've been linked to disruption of your gut. They've also been linked to cancer. Those pitcher filters that you see at the store, they won't fix this. They improve the taste of chlorine, but THMs require something far more powerful, and that's exactly what Cove Pure is. Their Clearwave reverse osmosis technology is certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants. So it's not just chlorine or THMs, fluoride, PFAs, pharmaceuticals. Basically, if it isn't water, Cove Pure removes it. And this thing doesn't take up much room at all. You see it right there on the countertop. All you have to do is plug it in. You don't have to call someone in to install it. Best part about it is you can just, with the tap of the button, get hot, cold, or warm water. And again, it's not the tap water. At that point, it's filtered through. And finally, the feedback on Cove Pure from our viewers has been incredible. People have told us they can literally taste the difference. Clean water is one of the best investments you can make for you and your family's health. And this is an investment right here. Right now, they're giving RSBN viewers $250 off if you use our link. Go to covepier.com/RSBN, covepier.com/RSBN. All right, it's 3:02. We're getting ready to go from D.C., which you see live right there, with a lot of people actually there today, checking out the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, our third great president, founding father. Thank God for Thomas Jefferson. Anyway, let's do this. Let's go to another great president, the greatest in our lifetime by far, President Donald Trump. He spoke to the press moments ago. Let's take you there live.
Good, a very good show. The headline today, does everybody know Caroline? She's with us. The headline today is exactly that. You see it? It says prescription drug prices record sharpest drop in more than 60 years. Okay, got it? Everybody have it? And I told you that was going to happen. The second headline is this. says Trump administration marks 15 straight months with zero border releases as apprehensions plus 94%. In other words, the border. And that means for 15 straight months we had zero people crossing the border. Are you impressed? Is anybody impressed? You are. Thank you. I'll give you the first question. Go ahead. Go ahead. Anybody?
Mr. Joe, what do you hope to accomplish this year?
I have a lot of things that are happening, a lot of good things. The economy is doing unbelievably from the standpoint of Wall Street. We just set another record, 80 times where we're the best market in history. And that's good for 401ks, it's good for a lot of things, but it's great for 401ks and jobs. I always say it's great for 401ks and jobs. So we hit number 80 record. So 80 days out of a short 1.5 years. We have a record stock market. 401ks have set a new record. And you take a look at the border, 15 months, zero people coming through our southern border. Pretty amazing. And drug prices again. Prescription drug prices down more than at any time over 60 years. Okay, what else do I have to say?
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Oh, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment gone on too long? Are you worried about the mental health concerns?
Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
All right, as you saw there, that was moments ago in New York, as President Trump is getting ready to speak in Nassau County, New York. Of course, on Long Island. We'll take you there as soon as we see that live feed. Our crew is seeing that there are things happening, meaning we're about to toss to it. So we'll go there as soon as we see that. In the meantime, I believe we have a couple sponsors. Is that right, Director? All right, let's go to All Family Pharmacy in the meantime as we await President Trump there. If you've been hearing more about peptides lately, you may be wondering what these options are and where to find them. You already know All Family Pharmacy is RSBN's trusted pharmacy partner, but did you know they also offer peptides and biohacking options? For those of you looking to support your overall wellness, energy, recovery, or weight management goals, they offer different options worth checking out. Now 25% off, and that includes NAD+. It's one of the most popular biohacking options right now, commonly used to support cellular energy and healthy aging. They also offer glutathione for antioxidant support. There's Simorlin to support the body's natural growth hormone production, and also the GLP-1 options for weight loss. So you can learn more and submit your order online at allfamilypharmacy.com/biohacking with that RSBN 25 code. You know, a licensed physician from their team reviews your information and, if appropriate, issues the prescription. Now, All Family Pharmacy handles the fulfillment and shipping all in one place, making the entire process super convenient. So you can see what might work for you at that website, allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. That sale goes until Sunday night, August 16th. Let's go to Birch Gold Group here as we await the president in New York. You don't wait until your house is on fire to install a smoke detector, of course, and you don't wait till the wind and rain hammer your windows and the power goes out to prepare for a hurricane, and you don't reach for your seatbelt after the impact, because after the crash or the hurricane or the house fire, it's just too late. Within that framework, you don't wait until the dollar goes to zero before you buy gold. It's really just too late then. So you can diversify with precious metals now, because you never know what will threaten your savings next. Persistent inflation, a weakening dollar, unexpected financial disruptions. You don't know what's next, but you can take a preventative step, and you can do that right now by requesting a free info kit on gold from my friends at Birch Gold Group. Just text Trump to the number 989898. There's no cost, no obligation, just straightforward information on how you can diversify your savings, even an IRA or 401k with gold. We at Right Side Broadcasting Network trust Birch Gold. You can trust them too. Just text Trump to 989898. Get that ball rolling there, and you can diversify your IRA or 401k as well. All right, so it's 12:08 on the West Coast, 3:08 on the East Coast. That means it's 2 o'clock Central and I guess 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Thanks so much for watching from coast to coast. And if you're watching from outside the country, thanks for watching. You know, I was looking up on Grok on X, you know, the AI thing where you just ask questions and that kind of thing about politics or whatever. I said, how many countries have, and I named any kind of social platform in there, for instance, maybe Rumble, or I checked out with YouTube, and there are 110 countries that access YouTube. There was another number I saw out there too, but regardless, that means if there's a internet connection and you can freely get onto YouTube, and if you type in the letters RSBN, obviously in English, RSBN, you can watch. And we know that we've had some global viewers watching our network over the years. Pretty cool to see that. But outside of that, what's the point of me bringing it up? I think it's because live stream broadcasting anymore is something that is, I think, the cutting edge of the way it is for the future anyway. Traditional TV, the bunny ears. Listen, I'm not against tradition. I'm not against, hey, we did it this way for so long, let's keep doing it that way. I'm cool with certain things with that. But sticking with the technology of what's going on right now, to be able to have the information age at our fingertips. I'm looking at X right here. There's a couple posts from RSBN of our recent interviews. You go to Truth Social, you see RSBN's post from President Trump speaking to the press on border security and other messaging ahead of that New York speech. We can see what's going on in an instant. And to be able to be connected in this country and around the world just by clicking a button, that's pretty awesome stuff. And isn't it great? Conservative media in the sense of the right side of history, but people that aren't, like right now, I'm looking at the lens, guys. I'm not looking at a teleprompter. There's a screen behind me that I read some of the sponsors and that kind of thing. Kind of keep me on track with some of the other talking points or maybe some of the things that are happening next. For instance, President Trump's going to be speaking in New York, but there isn't a teleprompter that is programmed by AI or a liberal producer, you know, that kind of thing. I'll just say this and I'll get off the media talk, but establishment press, uniparty press, liberal press, mainstream media, the fake news, as the late great Rush Limbaugh called it, the lame stream media. I'm not into any of that stuff. Right side's not into it. And other conservative networks are not into it either. And I'm not speaking specifically, I'm not going to name names, but it's just great to have a few, and that number may be growing, with conservative media as a whole, as a solution to the junk, the lies, the false narratives over the years that have been told to us from a big megaphone, acting like all these people think this certain way, this certain woke policy or this omission of information that wouldn't be the truth. Anyway, I can go on with that one because we know there's establishment press out there. I have to say one more thing. So we know that sometimes somebody could be called a Republican, but they're a rhino. We know about that. That's straight talk, right? It's real talk. We know there's Democrats, there's rhinos, that kind of thing. But when it comes to the media, there's also a uniparty media thing too. It might think they're to the right or think they're to the left or whatever, but they're establishment press. And so I know that the truth will set us free. That's the side we're on. There's a ton of stories out there. There's a ton of things that we see here at the network. All I know is God, family, country. If you're loving God, family, country, and freedom, and common sense, and truth, and justice, and the American way, you're on the right side of history. And it's great to have you guys as a community, as a family here at RSBN and within conservative media as a whole. Just felt like saying that. Anyway, looking live there in DC right now. 3:13, let's go to President Trump's Truth Social post, the first one of the day, saying, quote, "I am looking forward to being back in the great state of New York tomorrow," which of course is today, where highly respected and very popular Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman is running to be the next governor. Bruce is MAGA all the way and has been with me from the very beginning. As Nassau County Executive, he is working tirelessly with the brave heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement to keep our border secure, stop migrant crime, safeguard our community, and ensure law and order. The president says, as your next governor, Bruce will continue to fight hard to grow the economy, cut taxes and regulations, promote made in the USA, champion American energy dominance, strengthen our military and veterans, advance election integrity, and protect our always under siege Second Amendment. President Trump saying Bruce Blakeman is a fantastic guy, will win the big November election, and without hesitation has my complete and total endorsement for governor of the once great state of New York. Bruce will make it great again and will never let you down. President Donald J. Trump. Speaking of the president, as soon as we see that live feed in Nassau County, we'll take you there. That speech set to start, I believe, any minute from now. I remember being in Marietta, Georgia just a few weeks back, and as soon as we saw the presidential seal go onto the podium, you know that the president's about to take the stage. And we're about to hear from Lee Greenwood as well. Of course, God bless America, or God bless the USA, as we have had Lee on the show before too. Always good to connect with the great Lee Greenwood. Well, let's talk New York while we're waiting. We saw Robert Burkhead join us here. He was on Staten Island. He's the president of the Staten Island Young Republican Club. New York, New York. Man, I'll tell you, my dad was born in Manhattan. My mom born in Brooklyn. My sister born right across the river in New Jersey. I was born in Pennsylvania. The point is, I've worked in New York. I've worked right in the city there. I've seen all the boroughs. I've been to the island there, Long Island. I get it. But now, man, it's tough. I wouldn't want to go back. I would only go back for work, not for work long term. Let me correct that. I don't care if there's a news station in New York. If RSBN said, oh, we're going to New York City, I'm like, oh, guys, can we stay here? Or can we maybe go to PA or DC or something? The point is, New York City, as you guys know, man, it's a tough city. I rode the 6 train to work before. I worked on the Upper East Side at the one of the local stations there. And on the back of my mind, even when I worked in New York City, I thought, and I know that people, because I've interviewed people about this, the thought was, will terrorism happen? Will somebody push somebody onto the subway tracks while you're waiting for the train? So many different things. But thank God for law and order. Thank God for the NYPD. Thank God for President Trump at least saying, hey, New York, if you want the National Guard, you guys should just totally get that done, just like they did in DC, just like they did in Memphis. So we see that the crime problem is not good in New York. And then you add the socialist, communist style of governance there. And one other thing, now that I'm kind of ranting and raving, if you want to call it that. So Mamdani, the other day, meets with Miss Rachel. Oh man, it's so awful that Miss Rachel, who my kids like to watch Miss Rachel on Rumble, YouTube, wherever. And I don't want them to watch much more. My wife's on board with that. And she said it to me too. Acting like, oh, she's just this girl. Oh yeah, all the songs. It's just another form of emotional blackmail to get you involved, to get you into the more socialist, communist, Mamdani style of people. Just them working together and acting like everything's all good. Just your kids, your kids can trust us. Your parents can trust us. It's just annoying to see that. Anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's get back to the positivity. It feels better anyway, doesn't it? We have about, I think, a 2-minute warning to get to Nassau County, New York. So we're going to go there and see the president here. He'll be speaking for quite some time. So we'll see about this speech in just a little bit. Of course, he just spoke with the press moments ago. Director, do we have a sponsor to go to, or should... All right, let's go to calshe.com/RSBN. Of course, another great sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. A lot of political trending topics to check out, whether it's about elections, the primaries coming up on Tuesday in Alaska, Wyoming, Florida. A lot of people betting, trading, checking out polls there. calshe.com/RSBN. You can go to the QR code, or you can download the app if you'd like. Let's go to Cove Pure as well, one of our great sponsors. You know, most of us know there's chlorine in our tap water. We smell it and sometimes shrug and drink it anyway because we've been told it's what keeps our water safe. But what they don't tell you is what chlorine becomes after it's added to your water, and that's why it's so important to filter your water through Cove Pure. We're told chlorine itself isn't even the biggest problem. Chlorine levels in your water are regulated, but what's not regulated are chemicals that form when chlorine reacts with naturally occurring organic matter from rivers, soil, and plant matter. When chlorine interacts with those particles, it creates chemical byproducts called THMs. The government itself calls THMs probable human carcinogens, and they've been linked to disruption of your gut and to cancer. So those pitcher filters you get at the store, they won't fix this. They improve the taste of chlorine, but THMs require something far more powerful. That's exactly what Cove Pure is. Their Clearwave reverse osmosis technology is certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants. And it's not just chlorine or THMs. Fluoride, PFAs, pharmaceuticals. If it isn't water, Cove Pure removes it. And the thing doesn't take much room at all, of course. Right there on your countertop, you just plug it in, and with the tap of the button, you get hot, cold, or warm water. Also, the feedback on Cove Pure from our viewers has been incredible. People have told us they can literally taste the difference, and clean water really is one of the best investments you can make for you and your family's health. So right now they're giving RSBN viewers $250 off by using that link, covepure.com/RSBN, as it's almost 20 Eastern time here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Thanks again for live streaming in, or if you're watching on replay, as you see, we will begin shortly. We'll be going to Garden City, New York, Nassau County. And I forgot to ask Robert Burkhead on the interview, if the New York Islanders, are they playing in Uniondale, where they won all of those cups back in the 70s, or are they playing in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center where the Brooklyn Nets play, or did they build a new arena on Long Island? I think they built a new arena on Long Island. Anyway, guess I'm having a conversation with myself right here. All right, so maybe we go to some of the sponsors, actually some of the live chat. Director, do we have time, or do you think the president's about to speak? Okay, why don't we go to some of our live chat as we are standing by for the president. You know, we started our broadcast at 1:30 Eastern time, had a number of live interviews, some great videos as well. But right now, let's go to the chat. Let's do this. Let's see. What kind of topic could we talk about on this Friday, August 14th? How about this? Will the Save America Act become the Save America law? So we're going to go to you guys right now. I just want to see yes or no. Yes or no, or whatever else you want to say. I'm not going to censor. So let's see if we get some yeses or nos. Do you think the Save America Act really will become law? Obviously, it's common sense legislation. It's needed for our country. The voter ID, the proof of citizenship, the mail-in ballot fiasco, which we saw with COVID, the pandemic that caused what happened there in that 2020 election. Okay, so we're seeing some no, we're seeing some yeses according to, okay, you're seeing it right there. A lot of people saying yes. Okay, a lot of yeses right now coming from the live chat. Okay, so you guys think that the Save America Act will become law. In its entirety, there are 5 points to that law. Now, I said law, that act. 1 is, of course, voter ID. 2, proof of citizenship. 3, the mail-in ballots. 4, no men and women's sports. And 5, no more transgender transgender operations for our kids. So those are the 5 points. If it passes, that would be great for our country. If it doesn't, maybe at least some of those items would actually pass. We'll see what happens. As we are waiting for President Donald J. Trump, thanks again for watching here on Right Side. We're going to go to Garden City, New York, Nassau County, as President Trump is back in the home state of New York, the Empire State, as we are about to see him speak at a police academy there. And again, looking forward to more coverage throughout next week here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. And before you know it, September 9th and 10th, we'll be here for that midterm RNC GOP National Convention. Let's go to New York.
Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. There's a lot of people outside trying to get in. A lot of people outside, but I just want to say a very special hello to New York and a very, very special hello, Long Island. I love Long Island. I'm thrilled to be back in the state I love, and I do love it. I'm so proud of it, but it's going in bad direction. We got to change it around. We'll get Bruce in there. We'll change it around. We're going to change it around. You watch. He's going to do well, but to be with the hardworking patriots of Nassau County, appreciate it. And we're especially grateful to be joined by the incredible men and women of Nassau County Police Department and a lot of other law enforcement. I've known them a long time. There's never any problems, I'll tell you. They're winners. They're just winners, pure and simple. And thanks as well to your brothers and sisters in New York's finest, the New York PD. We love our New York PD. And we're here today to celebrate the historic progress our administration is making together with law enforcement partners nationwide to restore law and order in America. Very simple. A very simple phrase, isn't it? And with these professionals, it's a very easy thing to do. You have to give them, you have to let them do their job. That's all there is. You won't have any problem. That includes right here on Long Island, where under the leadership of your county executive, a great person, a friend of mine for a long time, a great political leader, a great politician, but I don't want to say that negatively. He's a great politician. He wins all the time. He won in a big surprise like 8 or 9 years ago. I remember I said, man, that's tough for you to win in that location. And then he's won in landslides ever since, and he's a winner. Bruce Blakeman. And I said it. I said when Bruce's name got up, I said, you know, if they give that guy just a little bit of a chance, just a little bit of fair treatment from the fake news and everyone else, he's going to win. No, he's going to win. I mean it. But under Bruce, think of this. Nassau County has been rated the #1 safest county in the United States of America. That's not bad. That's not bad. Think of that, the #1 safest county in the United States of America. There's, I think, 6,700 counties. That's not bad, Bruce. Let's keep it up. Do a little bit better next time. How do you top that? U.S. News and World Report gives you a perfect score in terms of crime, 100 out of 100. And under the Trump administration, we're working every day with leaders like Bruce and local police like we have here. We have some of the greatest police officers in the world in this room.
And a lot of them, unfortunately, they're standing outside trying to get in. Should we let them in? I don't know. We don't have any room, but let's let them in anyway. Who the hell cares? Who cares? Let's let them in anyway. But dangerous offenders off our streets, and they've taken them, they've brought them off our streets, put savage criminals behind bars, and you know what they're doing? They're making America safe again. They've done a fantastic job. And in the past 4 years before I took office, our country was overrun by violent criminals. I mean, you remember just a couple of years ago how bad it was, right? It was really bad. Foreign gangs, savage thugs with Biden. Sleepy Joe. What a horrible 4 years. That was 4 years in hell. We lived in hell. With Biden and the radical left Democrats. We call them Democrats now because their policies are so dumb. Fighting to defund the police. Does that play well in this room? Is there anybody that's in favor of defunding the police in this particular? You'd be afraid to say it if you were. And wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including prisons and jails and mental institutions, insane asylum. You know what that is? That's a mental institution on steroids. You know that. They come from both, including 11,888 murderers, many of whom have killed more than one person. More than 50% killed more than one person. And we took them in with open arms. How stupid could we be? But we're getting them the hell out. They're moving out fast. We're getting them out, and you help them. And the biggest problem we have, the biggest impediment we have are sanctuary cities, you know, where they protect criminals. It's called a sanctuary for criminals. We ought to change the name, a sanctuary for criminals. But the day I took the oath of office as your 47th president, we ended the border invasion. By the way, we have the best border now in the history of our country. We ended the war on police. And we declared a very strong war on crime. It's been really amazing. We've let our outstanding new Attorney General, happens to be with us. I was surprised to see him. He just got sworn in 2 days ago. Todd Blanche, he's going to be a legend. Where's Todd? I know him very well. I know him for a long time. He's going to be the greatest maybe ever. And we had some good ones in the country. I think he's going to go down. He's got a shot at being the greatest ever. If he remains tough and strong, he'll never change. Are you going to change your ways? I don't think so. If he doesn't change his ways, he's going to go down as the best. So I want to thank Todd, even for being here. He just got sworn in, as well as a Long Island native, born right here, and he's doing a good job. And those numbers are the best numbers anybody's ever seen. FBI Director Kash Patel. Best numbers anybody's ever seen on crime. And with your help, last year we achieved the largest drop in murder rate ever recorded, the lowest level in 125 years. That's since the year 1900. That was before my father was born. He would not have liked me saying that because he always liked to say he's quite young. But he wouldn't have liked that. Think of it, 125 years ago, we broke the record. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I just want to thank all of the people in this room. And today I'm thrilled to announce that the FBI has just released a new uniform crime report showing that in 2025, we achieved the single largest reduction in violent crime in American history. Pretty amazing. And last year, there were over 3,100 fewer murders than the year before I took office. Remember this, though? And we allowed, through the stupid open borders policy, 25 million people to come into our country. Many of them are now gone, but 25 million people, that's the number, that's the real number, to come into our country. Many of them, the people I just said, drug dealers, prisoners from all over the world. They came in from the Congo, they came in from South America. They were in, and despite that, we have the best crime record in recorded history. 2,000, think of this, rapes, 10,000 fewer. We had 10,000 fewer rapes than the year before, 1 million fewer assaults, robberies, burglaries, thefts. The numbers, every single number, is first time it's ever happened. Every single number is the lowest number in recorded history. And according to the latest data, crime has continued to plummet under our leadership in 2026, with robberies down another 20% and murders down another 23%. So the numbers you just heard, the preliminary numbers for just now, are even lower than the record numbers that you just heard. So it's a great tribute to all of the people in this room. Together, we're showing what is possible when you finally have a president in the White House who supports our police, who lets you do your jobs, and who always backs the blue. We back the blue. And you know, and I have been from the beginning, long before I ran for office. Who would have thought 10 years ago? I've been doing this for now a long time, but not that long if you think I'm president, if you think. It's a pretty quick trip. But I'm with you, and always was 100%. 100%. And my administration is proving billions, and we're giving you billions and billions of dollars to hire, equip, and train new police officers. We're giving you more money than you've ever been given in history. More money, and you're going out and you're buying the best equipment you can buy. As president, I will always protect our qualified immunity. Would you like qualified immunity, everybody? Qualified immunity. It's always very important. I also deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore public safety in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And in D.C., Memphis, and New Orleans, we've removed over 30,000 criminals from the streets in a single year. In Memphis, crime is down 71%. In New Orleans, crime is down 75%. And in D.C., crime is down 81%. I'll tell you, because D.C. is very personal for me, but in D.C., crime is now, it was so bad when I got there a year and a half ago. People were being murdered, 3 a week on average. We have very few murders anymore. We have very little crime anymore. We've taken it from the worst, one of the most dangerous cities. Can you imagine our nation's capital, one of the most dangerous cities in the country? We've taken it to one of the safest cities of the country, in the country. And we moved them out. We moved almost 5,000 people out of D.C. And you know, it's a very interesting stat. 2% of the people create 91% of the crime. I love that stat because we can handle 2% of the people. If it was 60% of the people, we got problems. It's 2%. They're repeat criminals, sometimes 3-4 times a day with this cashless bail stuff. They repeat. They go into court. The judge says, "Oh, you can go," and they go out and create another crime. But think of it: 2% create 91% of the crime, and it's that's something we handled very well. We moved out in Washington almost 5,000, in many cases, career criminals. They're not there anymore. And every day I come to the White House, people are thanking me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. No, these young, beautiful girls, these young, beautiful girls in the White House, you know, they come in. Now, I'm not supposed to say beautiful, but what the hell? These young, these gorgeous, beautiful girls, they want to be safe, and they come, "Mr. President, may I speak to you?" "Yes." "Thank you, sir. Thank you." I said, "Why are you thanking me?" "Because a year and a half ago, I was afraid to leave. I was afraid to open the door of my apartment. And now I walk to the White House every morning, and I have absolutely no fear." Thank you, sir. Now I get it all the time. Men, women, older men, younger men, and older women and younger women, they're all saying thank you, and I know exactly what they mean. We lived in a hellhole. 2 years ago, we were in a hellhole, and now we have one of the safest cities, and it should be safe. It's our nation's capital. We represent the whole universe, frankly, because there's nothing like the United States. Look at what we've done. Thank you. And you know, for other cities like New York, Chicago, LA, all they have to do is call us and we will stop that crime. We'll stop that horrible crime. We come in with the right people. We come in with the power to move people out of the country if they're here illegally, and a lot of them are criminals that were let in through that open border, that horrible. Remember the scene? Remember the scene? Well, you saw it the other day in Spain, right? Okay, now envision that. They allowed 65,000 people in. Now you remember 25 million people. We were worse. That was like that every single day in our country, and that went on for months and months. And then we had a border czar, as you remember, Kamala. She was the border czar. She never went to the border. And she never once called Border Patrol. Other than that, she did an excellent job. She was a great candidate. I think they should run her again. She was a great candidate. But since I took office, federal law enforcement has arrested incredibly 1.2 million criminals nationwide, and bad ones. We want to make sure we get the bad ones. And we've increased federal criminal prosecutions by over 50%. And under the Trump administration, the FBI has nearly doubled its arrests for violent crime. The violent criminals are being arrested, and that's why you see the good crime numbers. I mean, you're seeing crime numbers even in places that do not do, let's say they don't have good leadership, like Chicago has very bad leadership, but we have the numbers down because of what the federal government's doing. We get no credit for it because they say, well, we get no credit for it. They like to take all the credit, but everyone knows we've done an amazing job. The U.S. attorneys and the FBI, all the people, Cash, and Todd has been unbelievable. We get all the credit. And as of this week, we've captured 9 out of 10 fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list, and that's a virtual record. We have a list. We have a list of 10 not nice people. These are not nice people, David Mack. You know, David, stand up, David. One of the wealthiest guys. He's got so much cash. He's got so much cash, he doesn't know what to do with it. And he wants to be safe. They save your ass, David, I'll tell you. You have no idea, David. Anyway, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. He's a real estate man, a very good real estate man. And he used to be my enemy, but now he's very nice to me. Now he's very nice. He used to be my competitor, but he's a good man. He's a great, brilliant real estate person, too. It's good to have you, David. Shortly after taking office, I signed a historic executive order directing that anyone convicted of killing a police officer should face the death penalty. And last year, deaths of law enforcement, well, think of this, deaths of law enforcement officers in the line of duty fell to an 80-year low. That means people aren't playing games anymore. It's an 80-year low. Still too many, but it's an 80-year low, despite all of our extraordinary progress to restore safety to every community in our land. The radical left, Marxists, the communists, they're communists. These aren't socialists. Socialists are no good, but communists. Remember I said at the State of the Union speech, the last one, we will not be a socialist country. I was right. They want to make us a communist country. They've skipped socialism. They skipped socialism. Can you believe it? So at least I was right. I like being right. But they continue their war on police and their destruction of the rule of law. The communists want to turn America into a third world country, into a hellhole of crime and filth. You ever notice, I said it a week ago for the first time, the first thing you see, I see, before you even see the crime becomes staggering, is the streets become filthy dirty. They're disgusting. They smell, they rot, but everything becomes dirty. And then you see the crime and you see all the other things. But I don't know, I'm not sure you've ever heard that said by anybody else. Most people wouldn't say it, but it's true. And squalor, and you know, it just becomes so bad. And then the death comes, and it becomes really a true hellhole. And we're not going to let that happen to New York State. And that's why We have to get Bruce into office. We got to get Bruce in there. Nowhere is the communist attack on American society more clear than here in New York State. The radical left Governor Kathy Hochul has been very, very bad on crime, a nightmare for crime. She supports New York's disastrous no cash bail law. You know, it all started, if you think about it, because I've been here for a long time. I love this place, but it gets harder to love. It really does. But if you think, it really started with the no cash bail. Remember that? That was a Cuomo beauty, right? That was a Cuomo beauty. In other words, no cash, don't worry about it. You kill somebody, oh, that's okay, go ahead. Then you go out, kill 2, 3 people a day. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And you can't, it's like men playing in women's sports. It's so crazy, you can't believe it. It's like transgender mutilization of your children. And all these people believe in all this stuff. But they came out with that one with the no cash bail. Just think of it, no cash. You kill somebody, you rob a store, you go right back out on the streets. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I don't know, from a political standpoint, I guess it's good, because Bruce, how the hell can you lose to that? You're going to be ashamed. If you lose, you're going to be ashamed for the rest of your life. You'll be ashamed. Bruce would say, how did I lose to that? No, I mean, think of it. Open borders. Let's have open borders. Have the entire world pour into our country. 25 million people in 4 years. She supported the release of convicted murderers who killed New York City police officers. She wanted people that killed our great police officers. One in particular in Long Island, where I went to the funeral, and he just met the people that gave this law enforcement chapels and rabbis, and met a whole group, and they were there, and they gave the most beautiful sermon. But they kill. These are absolute killers, and then you're not going to change them. You got to get them the hell out, or you got to put them away. And if you don't do that, you're just wasting a lot of time. This whole concept of what they do. The only thing is, from a political standpoint, it's so easy to run against, because it's just common sense. You know, I guess I'm a conservative guy, but I'm a common sense guy more than a conservative guy. It's all about, politics is all about common sense. Bruce is a common sense guy. Bruce is a common sense guy. All of our Congress people that are here, you know, we have all our Congress people here. That's a big deal. I think if you said, would you rather have Bruce Blakeman win or all of your Congress people? I don't know, Bruce. I think I'm going to have to give you up. I might have to take the Congress people. It's so important. Okay, they're very happy. She signed a law weakening the parole enforcement for convicted felons, really weakening it. She spent millions and millions of dollars providing taxpayer-funded lawyers to illegal aliens. If you weren't an illegal alien, you didn't get a lawyer. But if you were an illegal alien, you got lawyers, and they were very good. They were radical left lunatics, but they were very good, very effective. She's in favor of the sanctuary city. She thinks the sanctuary cities are wonderful, which are killing our country. And less than 3 months ago, Kathy Hochul signed a deadly and sedacious new law making New York a so-called sanctuary state. So she took it from the city to the state, meaning Kathy Hochul wants to release migrant criminals from jail and set them loose on innocent New Yorkers all over. Every street has people that are not supposed to be here. And the reason they left their country is a lot of bad reasons. You know, I know a lot of the leaders of these countries. They're very smart. More than smart, they're street smart, very street smart. And they don't want these people. So what they did is they sent them into the United States of America through the open border. And people like Kathy Hochul, they want to keep them in New York. We don't want to keep them in New York. We don't want them. We don't want to take a chance. Yeah, maybe they'll get better. You know what the chances of? About 2%. Maybe they'll get better. But Hochul and the radical left stand with the gang members, child predators, violent felons. We stand with hardworking New Yorkers. We stand with the great people of law enforcement. And Hochul and Mayor Mandami were against securing our border. They were against our massive tax cuts. They were against no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our seniors. They were against all of that. They fought it like hell. Is that right, Congressman? Am I right? Nick, right? They fought like crazy. I mean, we didn't get one vote. We have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and you cops get a lot of overtime, RSBN. You get a lot of overtime. I made you a lot of money, but you deserve it. And no tax on Social Security. Think of it for the seniors, and a lot of seniors. Is anybody happy about that, seniors? Are you happy about it? Let me do a quick poll. If you had your choice of only having one, clap for the one you like best. No tax on tips. No tax on Social Security for our seniors. No tax on overtime. I know. I knew the one they'd like the best. But she wants to raise your taxes. Think of it. She and all these people are against these things. And if they get in, they're going to take them all away. They're all going away. Yeah, that'll be next. Yeah. That could happen, actually. If we keep making money like we're making, we're the hottest nation anywhere in the world right now. Hottest. We're building more plants and factories than any country anywhere in the world in history. Think of it. We're building, and the jobs are going to be fantastic. You know, in a couple of years, 2.5 years, somebody's going to be elected. And will you please remember one thing? Trump is the one that did it. These factories are all going to be opening up. They're going to be all opening up. They're going to be opening up, and they're going to say how brilliant they were, right, Todd? They're going to be saying, brilliant. Think of it. We have $19.2 trillion being invested in our country. You know why? Tariffs. We're making a fortune with tariffs. They like to say, oh, tariffs here. They have no idea what they're... Basically, if you build your plant here, if you make your product here, you don't pay tariffs. If you make your product in another country, I say, I want you to pay 50%. We don't want your product if you make it. So they're all moving in, and they're spending $19.2 trillion so far. It's actually more than that, because that's as of the first 13, 14 months, and it's been a little bit longer than that. But think of the next governor, and think of the next for your state, but more importantly, think of the next president. Your next governor is going to say, what a great job. You know how many factories and places are being built in all of the states? And your next president is going to say, what a great job I did. He'll be sitting around watching television, a real step. Unless you vote Republican, of course. But no, they'll be sitting, say, darling, look at the great job I did. I don't know what the hell's happening, but this country is good. I'm telling you, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. $19.2 trillion is more than invested ever in history in any country. And another little stat, I love these stats. I love these. I hate reading these boring speeches because, to be honest with you, isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't have to read a teleprompter? Teleprompters are easy. They're bored. You get a little bored with teleprompters. But here's a stat that they never write down, but I think it's one of the most. At this moment, right now, there are more people working in the United States of America than ever before. We've never had anywhere, not even close. Think of that stat, right? Think of that stat. And one other thing I have to say, they keep talking about affordability. Affordability, I walk in, I'm in office one day, and those fakers, look at all that press back there. Wow, fake news. But they keep talking about affordability. When I got in, you remember the first news conference, it was one day, they started screaming, what about eggs? What about eggs? Eggs. I said, tell me about eggs. What's the problem? They're up 5 times higher than they were just a year ago. I said, I've just been here one day. And then they started screaming affordability. And, you know, I made the statement, but they always misread it and everything else but I said, the Democrats saying that is a hoax because they're the ones that cause the affordability. We're bringing the prices way down. Look at what's happening, coming way down. And after we finish defeating Iran, which is being very badly defeated, pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States. Essentially, that's what it is. We have the blockade. No ships get through unless we want them to. But, and how about Venezuela? Venezuela was a one-day war. And now we work great with them. We've taken in millions and millions of barrels of oil. But we're doing really good. We're doing good in every way. You know, I built the military, and now I used it a little bit more than I wanted to, frankly, but that's okay, because we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Do we agree? Can't let it. So most things are down. And I had, you know, before I started that, I had to make a journey. I said to my guys, I said to Howard, Scott, Marco, they're all fantastic. What a great group we have. But I said, fellas, we had just had the best month anyone's ever had as president. The numbers had just come out. I just got back. I was in Iowa helping some people. And I was in office. And we're looking at the pump. And it's $1.95 a gallon. And another one was $1.85. I said $1.85 a gallon. And I meet them the following day. I said, I have bad news for you guys. We have to make a little journey to the Middle East because we have to put out a potential disaster, a potential very big fire like you've never seen. We can't let Iran keep going. They would have had a nuclear. If we didn't hit the B-2 bombers, if we didn't hit them, you would have had a nuclear weapon. And it would have been a very sad day for this country and for the entire world. So I said, we're going to have to put out the fire in the Middle East, and we've done that. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. We have loaded up. So I just say this. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's I'll never apologize. I did the right thing. But you could, you know, if you didn't have, you'd be at, I mean, I had it down to below $2 in many states, but in California you can't include because they keep taxing. You lower the oil price and they end up taxing you more than what you lower it. But you just have to remember that what we're doing is a great service for the world, not only for ourselves, for the world. And we're really doing a great job. Our military is unbelievable. The blockade is unstoppable. It's a wall of steel. The blockade is a wall of steel. But the policies of Hochul and the Democrat colleagues like crooked, oh, she's the worst. Is she the worst? Crooked Attorney General Letitia James. She is the most dishonest, a real slob. You know, they had her. She got off on a technicality. They had her. But she got off on a technicality. But let's see what happens. You remember when she was campaigning and we will stop Donald Trump. She's not supposed to say that. She's the Attorney General. We will stop. She didn't know anything about me. But she campaigned on we will stop Donald Trump. Well, I think I'm hearing, am I here as president? Yeah, I am. She's, by the way, Letitia James is a disgrace to law, order, law enforcement. She's a disgrace. She's a dishonest person, very dishonest, very crooked person. Remember, I used to say that about James Comey. I was right. These are dishonest. These are dirty cops. You know the expression? You got dirty cops, too. Letitia James is essentially a dirty cop. And you have a person running who I just met today for the first time, and I've endorsed her, running for Attorney General. Where the hell are you, ma'am? Where are you? And I'm hearing you have a hell of a shot. Her resume is unbelievable. But the reason that all of the products in New York, pharmacies and convenience stores are all locked behind glass, how do you do that? You know, I used to you go into a drugstore, you go into a store, you buy something, you buy a toothbrush, you buy some toothpaste. Now you have to open up glass. It's no way to run a business. I don't know how the hell they can make money. They can charge you a lot. I don't care how much they charge. They can't be making any money. Actually, I have a store on Wall Street. And they said, sir, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. I go into the store. This is before I left. I go into the store. It's a drugstore, well-known, big brand, good store, beautiful store, right across from the New York Stock Exchange in the building. And beautiful, everything's beautiful. There's only one problem. I walk into the store. I said, what's going on here? Every shelf has glass on it, and it's got a lock and a key. I said, why do you do that? How do you live like that? You want a toothbrush? Or you want a little toothpaste, or you want to get a little Dove soap. You know, you have nice skin. You want Dove. You can pour it gently on your face. Keep your skin very nice. You want a little of that good hair that can puff up your hair a little bit more. So it makes you look like you have 4% more hair than you had. They charge you a fortune. And you have to call the clerk. Sir, would you please help me? Yes, sir, I will. They open up a door at the last door, and they give you a bottle of shampoo. Give me a break. And that's because nothing happens to these criminals. Nothing happens to them. It's not like that in other places. It's not like that in other blue states. But it's not like that in Republican states, I can tell you that. But 3 weeks ago in Kathy Hochul's New York, a demented criminal with 14 prior arrests threw an elderly woman, you saw it, onto the subway tracks, almost died. It was a miracle, barely lived. I mean, what's your definition of live? 2 weeks ago, a wonderful 12-year-old boy named Jacob Fritiz, you read about this one, was tragically shot and killed by a stray bullet fired by a repeat offender in a gun battle. He was having a gun battle with his friend, shooting bullets all over the place. Jacob was the son of a loving mom and a retired New York City police detective, and they are incredible people. And I think I heard that they may be with us today. Are you with us? May I introduce you? Please. Incredible, horrible story. What a horrible thing. But we're going after them. I just said we're going after. These are bad, they're sick people. They're sick people. Also with us is former New York PD officer Ethan Corey. Where is Ethan? Ethan Corey, who 3 years ago arrested an illegal alien criminal in New York City. Oh, that's the guy I remember. I remember him. He arrested someone for endangering a child, only to watch that migrant criminal be released under the sanctuary laws that Kathy Hochul so fervently supports. And just imagine the anguish that Ethan felt when he learned that that same monster was arrested for murder and murdering a beautiful young nursing student who became a very famous person after her death, unfortunately. Laken Riley in Georgia Now, if they had the proper laws, you did your job, you did it, but they just released this animal into the world. I just want to thank Ethan Curry. Please accept our congratulations and our love. Thank you. Thank you, Ethan. And he was devastated. He was devastated. We've been together twice, but he was devastated because he had the guy. It was all done, and they released him. And he said, "Don't release him, don't release him," begged him, but they released him, and he went on. The following couple of days later, he killed Laken Riley. Thanks to our Republican majorities in Congress last year, it was my honor to sign the Laken Riley Act into law, helping us ensure migrant criminals are swiftly deported. It's been held up too. It's been people are following it very closely, but and we named it after Laken for a very good reason. The family was devastated. And I want to thank Bruce Blakeman for working closely with federal law enforcement to remove more than 2,000 migrant criminals from Nassau County. He removed 2,000 absolute total criminals. That's why your records are so good. That's why you're #1 in the whole country. I got to check that, Bruce. I don't know about that. But that's why you're #1 in the country. It's time for the people of New York to remind your politicians that their job is not to protect the criminals. Their job is to protect the good, hardworking people of New York. And that's why right here in Nassau County, Bruce Blakeman hired over 700 new police and correctional officers to keep New Yorkers safe. I don't know. Should we do this? Come on up, Bruce. Come on. Should we do it? Come up, Bruce.
You got it. Thank you very much, Mr. President. See, Sid Rosenberg's here. What are you doing? You're supposed to be on radio. Listen. We are so honored to have President Trump join with us here today in these magnificent facilities that we have here in Nassau County to honor the men and women of our law enforcement professionals and firefighters. And especially we want to thank President Trump. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart because I meet mom and dads everywhere I go throughout the state. Thank you, Mr. President, for sealing our borders. There are less and less moms and dads that are burying their children from fentanyl and the illegal drugs that came through our porous borders during Biden-Harris. Thank you, President Trump, and God bless you for everything you do. We appreciate you. Keep going.
That's what you need. That's what you need. It'll be great. No doubt about it. A lot of times I'm with people and I'm sort of not very sure. I'm sure of this one. He's going to be great. The official communist platform calls for abolishing the police, abolishing prisons, abolishing qualified immunity, abolishing all immigration enforcement, and giving full amnesty to 50 million illegal aliens. How about that? One of Mayor Mondami's closest allies in New York, Daria Liza Avila. I've never heard of her. Who the hell is she? Called police pigs. They're pigs. She said, they're pigs. And she said that end policing, full stop. That's her campaign. That's what she says, end policing, full stop. The radical extremist has not been disavowed by Chuck Schumer, who's a Palestinian. He's a full-fledged Palestinian. In fact, I'm looking for Palestinian garb. I'm going to send it to him for his birthday. I know him very well. Or crazy Nancy Pelosi. She's totally crazy. If you got to know her, you'd say she's crazy. or Kathy Hochul, who's done such a poor job in New York. In fact, she has the congressional Democrats full support. Think of it. Every Democrat, not the people are going to vote for Bruce Blakeman, but the politicians, they're all for her. Begrudgingly, I have to tell you. They came in, the mayor came in very late for her, if you remember. Communism is the greatest threat to our country in history, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, or even 9/11. Today, we declare again that America is going to be greater than ever before. It's going to be great. You know, I had a little expression that I came up with called Make America Great Again, MAGA. Who thought that was going to happen when we first said it 10 years ago? All right? First said it. I came up, I said, that's a good sound. Who would have thought? But we're joined today by some of the warriors in Congress who are standing up for our values, including Representatives Nick LaLota, Andrew Garbarino, Nicole Malliotakis, and your former congressman, a friend of mine, Anthony D'Esposito. Anthony. And thanks as well to Sheriff Todd Hood, fantastic guy. Kaylee Buller, who's running. Anthony Constantino, who's running for Congress. Janine Driscoll, and Mike LaPetri. Come on up, fellas, come on up. We got to get them in office. Come on up. Get up here. Come on up here. What the hell? It's late in the week. We have a couple of words.
Wow, we are so excited. Thank you, President Trump, for lighting this room on fire. We love the work you've done to make Nassau County the best county in New York. We appreciate all the devotion. And thank you for coming here today to support us to keep the Republican agenda going in Washington.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. America is the hottest nation because of you, sir. America's swagger is back. Our enemies fear us. Our allies respect us. And Mr. President, you are here because you know we choose common sense over chaos, and we 100% back the blue. God bless you, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Long Island, are you fired up? Hey, listen here, Mr. President, thank you for being with us here on Long Island. Now listen, Suffolk County, we're pretty safe too. Any Suffolk County folks in the house? God bless Suffolk County too. Now listen, we Long Islanders, we want two things. We don't want to be able to move to Florida or North Carolina. We want to stay here. And we need two things to stay here. And you're helping us a lot, Mr. President. We want to make it more affordable. And you cutting our taxes helps us stay here on Long Island, but also making us safer. We got our cops here too. We love that you're supporting the blue. We love that you're here on Long Island. God bless you, Mr. President.
Hello, Long Island. How we doing? All right. Are we ready to elect Bruce Blakeman the next governor so the entire state can be safe? Well, I'm proud to represent Staten Island and Brooklyn. Sadly, it's part of Mondani's New York City, but we are going to change the tide in New York City and across America, and we're doing it already because of our Republican majority and this great president, Donald J. Trump. My mother fled communist Cuba, and we will never allow that to happen here in the United States, the greatest and freest country in the world. Thank you, and God bless.
I just want to say thank you very quickly to President Trump for inspiring me to be here. I wasn't a politician until very recently. I saw what he did for our country, stepping aside from his incredible business, and I decided I wanted to do the same thing because of him. And I tell you this, I think I'm still an objective person. Bruce Blakeman called me an anti-politician, so I have a clear message to everybody in New York State. Democrat, Republican, Independent. You have no choice anymore but to vote Republican, vote Bruce Blakeman, vote every Republican you can find, because the Democrats are destroying our state.
Thank you again, everybody. One thing we didn't mention today, but we have to, this would not have happened without the president. Let's thank him for getting our SALT deduction back.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
We can't forget this one here.
Thank you, Mr. President. You let me serve you in term 1. I helped on your transition team, and you let me serve you in term 2, and we are going to keep the House and keep enacting your agenda. Woo!
Thank you very much. They're fighters. What you need is fighters. Also with us is New York Republican Party Chair Ed Cox. Where's Ed? Thank you, Ed. Good job. You got a hot one going, Ed. A friend of mine for a long time, Nassau County Chair Joe Cairo. A longtime friend of mine, Senator Al D'Amato, I see, is in the audience. Thank you, Al. And another friend of mine, another great politician, Peter King. Thank you, Peter. Great, great. We also have a fearless advocate for victims of crime who spoke at the 2024 Republican National Convention about the murder of her son, Hussein. And I tell you, this was a big moment. Madeleine Brame, where are you, Madeleine? Where are you, Madeleine? What a job that was. What she got the biggest ovation of anybody in the place, including me. Including me. Thank you, Madeleine. Thank you very much. She got a hand for 5 minutes. They were applauding you and the job because they got to know you on television, talking about your great son. And I appreciate it. Along with another passionate advocate for crime victims and a survivor of very violent crime, Jasmine Robles. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. And finally, and I have to tell you, he's become a friend of mine because I think he's just great. I used to watch him on television in a slightly different mode. He was a comedian, I guess, an actor. He's sort of everything, and now he does some of the best commentary of anybody anywhere in the world, talking about the Civil War, talking about everything having to do with patriotism. Kelsey Grammer. Thank you, Kelsey. I don't know what it is, you know. Originally, he made me laugh. Now, that doesn't easily go into civil wars and all the other wars he talks about, but you are really, maybe it's the voice, maybe it's the look, probably the voice. Must be the voice. But he's a great guy. There's nobody like him. Under the Trump administration, America is winning again, and America is respected again all over the world. We're respected like never before, and that's because I put America first. We're first, and we're first in terms of many countries. When they need help, they call America. I don't always give it because sometimes they haven't been very good to us. You know, NATO wasn't there for us, by the way. You know, NATO was not there for us. We pay all that money for so many decades, money, money, money. We say, yeah, give us a hand. Well, sure, would rather not. But we remember. We inherited the worst border in the history of the United States, so we quickly turned it into the most secure border in the history of our country. We took the worst border, and within a 60-day period, we turned it into the best. And I did it twice. If you remember, I did it in 2016, and then they let it go. But the 2016 border was nothing compared to the border we just had. That border was horrible, what they let into this country. The 2016 was like a secure border by comparison, what we just had to go through. And we did it fast. Remember they said you couldn't do it. You couldn't secure the border. I did it in really 30 days. 60 days became perfect, but really 30 days. And you know the only difference? Because they said you have to go back to Congress. Yeah, I didn't go back to Congress. The only difference is you had a different president. That's the only difference. In the past 15 months, a historic record of 0 illegal aliens have been admitted into the United States. And we take people in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. And it was just announced that the total number of attempted illegal border crossings is down by 94%. And by the way, water crossing, you know, for the drugs, 97% down. %97. You know, for years we've been interdicting, they like to say, but for years we've been grabbing those boats, bringing them into Miami and different places. They'd be let go in a matter of minutes, always had good lawyers, and they'd be back sailing sometimes that night. They don't sail anymore. They don't sail. And the 97%, in fact, we're going to give probably medals to some of the 3% because I think they happen to be the bravest people. Anybody getting into one of those boats to bring drugs into our country, I consider them to be among the bravest people anywhere in the world, either that or the dumbest people in the world. With the help of our Republican majorities in Congress, I proudly signed the largest tax cuts in American history just now. Largest in American history. And they wanted to give you the largest tax increase in American history. You know, all my life I've been watching politics, and I wasn't a politician until relatively recently, but I've been watching. And I've always watched politicians, Democrat, Republican, Independent, they get up and we will cut your taxes, we will cut your, even if they didn't mean it, they always said it. These people actually say, we're going to raise your taxes. We're going to drive you crazy. We're going to do things that is shocking. That's why people are leaving New York, because of those policies. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It can't work. It just can't work. And we have to be careful, because as a federal government, we don't want to throw good money after bad. They're destroying the city. They're destroying the state. We want to be there for the state, but we don't like what's happening is a guaranteed failure. It's a guaranteed failure. It's not like, oh, maybe it'll work. It's a guaranteed failure. We have to be very careful. Under our leadership, the stock market has set almost 80 all-time highs since the election. Set another one. More Americans are working today. As I said, to me, it's one of the coolest, because, you know, they say, well, employment. They say, how's Trump doing in the economy? He's at 42 on the 42. We built the greatest machine in history. It's the greatest in history. More money invested, as I said, $19.2 trillion with a T, $19.2 trillion. And they say, how's he doing on the economy? Oh, he's okay. Not okay. When I say we have the most people working, and by the way, the fake news, you see those people? If I'm wrong by, I have to be very careful, because if I'm wrong by a ½ point, it's headlines all over the place. When other presidents or Democrats make mistakes, that's okay. But if I misstate something slightly, just a little bit, like a ½ point, ½ point, it's headlines all over the world. Which keeps me extremely honest, I must be honest with you. Under my most favored nation policy on drug prices, we're delivering the largest prescription drug price cuts in the history of our country by far. With price differences of 400, 500, and even 600%. And the headline in most of the papers this morning was the largest drug price decrease in 65 years. And that alone should win us the midterms, really. That alone, because that reduces health care, reduces everything. For decades, Americans paid the highest prices for prescription drugs. We paid more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world, and now we pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for prescription drugs. And I could tell you how I did it, but it's too boring. All I know is you had to get other countries to agree, and I got every one of them to agree. You know why? If they weren't going to do it, I said, I'm going to raise tariffs on you. I'm going to put 100% tariff. It's going to be 10 times more. Sure, we'd love to do it. We'd be honored to double our prices. They had to double their prices in order for us to get the reduction. But think of that, 400, 500, 600%. We should win the midterms on that alone. We're making the largest ever investment in the United States Armed Forces. Our armed forces are the best in the world. I built it during my first term, including Space Force, which has turned out to be very important. And now we're using it. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with what nobody's ever seen. We're taking millions and millions of barrels of oil out every single week. And we're likewise winning big with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Nobody has any idea how successful we are. They don't want to write it, but they know. You know who knows how well we're doing? Iran. Think of it. They have no Navy. It's totally gone. 159 ships. They had a total of 159 ships. 159 ships are right now at the bottom of the sea. They had 212 very nice airplanes, some bought from the United States brilliantly through Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Barack Hussein Obama. And every one of their airplanes is shot down. It's gone. They have no leadership. Their leadership is gone. Their first tour is gone. Their second tour is gone. Their third tour is half gone. That's one of my problems. There's nobody to negotiate with. It is a problem. I said, are you sure this guy's okay? It's the only country in the world where nobody wants to be president. But their radar's gone. All of their high intelligence equipment is gone. Their manufacturing of missiles is 82%. They still have missiles, but not a lot. They still have drones, but just a fraction of what they had. But their manufacturing is largely gone. And I read an article in one of the fake newspapers the other day. Iran is in very good position. They have 350% inflation. Their currency is valueless. I read today where their currency is of no value. And the New York Times said, Iran is doing quite well in the war. These guys, fake news, it's just fake news. There's nothing you can do about it. They're sick. They're just as sick as their partners, the Democrats. In just 18 months, we've turned this country completely around. Our border is secure. Our jobs are up. Inflation is way down. Investment is pouring in. Factories are opening. Our military is more powerful than it has ever been. And America is back, and our greatest victories are still to come. Our greatest victories are yet to come. It's amazing, amazing what we've done. And I would not have said we would have done this in a year and a half, but in a year and a half. And I tell the story all the time. The King of Saudi Arabia, 2 years ago, I was there, and he said, you know, I was in office for a little while, like 6 months, so it was a year ago, and he was with me, good guy, smart guy, under siege, by the way. All those countries are because Iran was known as the bully of the Middle East. And he said, you know, sir, that a year ago we said your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. He said that. That's where I got the expression. Many other leaders say the same thing. Every other leader says it, but a lot of them don't like saying it publicly. So in conclusion, with the help of our Republican majorities in Congress, we will crush violent crime to the lowest levels ever. Already there. We're already there. Lowest levels, best crime levels in 125 years on murder and most of the other crimes. We will impose harsh new penalties for dangerous repeat offenders. We will crack down on Marxist prosecutors. We will never abolish the police. Instead, we will abolish the sanctuary cities. We will abolish them. We will destroy them. We will take them out. We're going to take them out of service. And we will immediately end no cash bail. We will pass the great health care plan to stop all payments to big insurance companies. You have to understand, the insurance companies are totally controlled, 100%. They're totally controlled by the Democrats, and give the money directly to the people. They give billions and billions of dollars to insurance companies. We're giving them directly to the people. You go out, you buy your own health insurance, and you have money left over. You end up with better health insurance. So you're going to get better health insurance at a lower cost. And finally, we will pass the Save America Act to defend our sacred American elections. Because all voters must have photo ID, and all voters must provide proof of citizenship. Have to do it. We have to do it. And mail-in ballots, we're going to make them so secure you have no idea. If you want to stay home, you can do it, but we got to make them secure because they are crooked as hell. So thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll also enshrine permanent law. There will be no men in women's sports, and there will be no transgender surgery for your children. No more. And we've essentially killed DEI. Isn't that nice? No more DEI. I don't see the people behind me big on DEI. Were you big on DEI, anybody? That's not a DEI group, I can tell. It never was, by the way. So, ladies and gentlemen of Nassau County, the golden age of America is upon us. It's the golden age. We've never had anything like it. And together with your help and patriots all across this magnificent land, we will make America powerful again. We've already done that. We will make America wealthy again. We've already done that. We will make America healthy again. We're trying to do that. We will make America strong again. We've done that. We will make America proud again. We've done that. We will make America safe again. We've largely done that. And above all, we will make America great again. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, everybody.
President Donald J. Trump, the 47th Commander-in-Chief, just wrapping up that speech in Nassau County on Long Island in the Empire State, New York. Of course, President Trump speaking for about an hour there. And out of all the speeches that I've heard from President Trump at the end, when he says we're going to make America healthy again, and then he usually doesn't have the commentary after each time. So that was a first that we heard here on RSBN. As you guys know, we've had how many speeches? That's a good question. If you think about it, how many speeches have we aired here since 2015 of Donald J. Trump? This, as there are exactly 81 days until the midterm election. So we're looking at about 2 months and a half and change until that huge November 3rd date. Of course, September 9th and 10th, the RNC, the GOP midterm national convention in Dallas, Texas. There's a lot of coverage from now until then here in conservative media. So thanks so much for live streaming with us or watching this on replay. This is RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Let's go to mypillow.com, one of our great sponsors, longtime sponsor here on RSBN. A lot of great products, as you guys know. Quality products for a great price. Use the RSBN promo code. That always goes a long way. So go to mypillow.com/RSBN. And speaking of Right Side Broadcasting Network, if you'd like to go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate. It's been quite the week in 24/7 news here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I hope you have a great weekend. If there's no breaking news, we'll see you again on Monday. Have a nice weekend.